Reiner mellophone, escorted by Sean and Thomas Reiner Sr. Alexa Plotty, trumpet, escorted by Gail, Nick, and Jamie Plotty. John Suvada, percussion, escorted by John and Charlene Suvada. Emma O'Toole, piccolo, escorted by Christy and Peter O'Toole. Colin Ordaway, baritone, escorted by Letitia Ordaway. Madeline Monroe, clarinet, escorted by Colleen and Kevin Monroe. Savannah Martin, clarinet, escorted by Carrie and Brian Martin. Teresa Korecki, flute, escorted by Laurel and Bill Korecki. Kayla Kepps, drum major, escorted by Rachel and Clem Kepps. Lauren Holm, percussion, escorted by Holly and Joel Holm. Willis Heine, sousaphone, escorted by Amy and Chuck Heine. Matthew Garland, trombone, escorted by Kathleen and Robert Garland. Sophie Flatter, flute, escorted by Stephanie and Sean Flatter. Nicole Crump, percussion, escorted by Chris and Ben Crump. Mia Abate, piccolo, escorted by Kristen and Matthew Abate. recognize the 2022 class of the Alma College football program. First up is number 3, Cole Thomas. Cole is a pre-physical therapy major and escorted by Don and Thomas. Next up is Brock Van Manen. Brock is a nursing major who is escorted by John and Sharon. Our next senior is Trevor Solani. Trevor is a pre-sports medicine major and is escorted today by Amy and Eric. Renell Smith Jr. is an elementary education major who is escorted today by Rhiannon and Renell Sr. Connor Numa. Connor is a nursing major and is escorted by Jason and Angie. Nathan Gorlowski. Nate is a history major and he is escorted today by Steve and Angela. Your next senior is Drew Hum. Drew is a marketing and new media studies major and is escorted today by Steve and Mary Jo. Alec Frederick is a marketing and an economics major and he is escorted today by Lorena and Shannon. Our next senior is Julian Blasco. Julian is a nursing major and is escorted today by Brian and Carol. William Burnett. Will is a marketing and new media studies major. He is escorted today by Oscar and Julie. Our next senior is Jaden Betts. Jaden is an education major and escorted today by Greg and Amber. Mitchell Westman is a business management major and is escorted today by Don and Lori. Our next seniors are Trevor Underhill and Will Hampton. Trevor is an elementary education major and Will is a psychology major. Trevor and Will are escorted by Mandy and Kyle Underhill. on the defensive line.
Jerome Robertson, Pontiac, Michigan.
Hunter Sanderson, Perry, Michigan.
Evan Makiva, Midland, Michigan.
Jalen Dunwoody, Detroit, Michigan.
At linebacker,
Odin Sapadini, Traverse City, Michigan.
Eli Jackson, Morristown, Michigan.
Gage Nelson, Standish, Michigan. At defensive back,
Drew Hom, Alma, Michigan. Austin Flowers, Muskegon, Michigan.
Jack Kretschmar, Moraine City, Michigan.
Connor Duma, Ada, Michigan.
on the offensive line,
Braden Henderson, Millington, Michigan.
Zach Post, Lowell, Michigan.
Alex Deeb, Shelby, Michigan. Reese Townsend, Portland, Michigan.
Ethan Drake, Westland.
at receiver,
Devin Crenshaw, St. Joseph, Michigan.
Nate Gorowski, Romeo, Michigan.
Ty Lauderman, Marquette, Michigan. Cole Thomas, St. John's, Michigan.
in the backfield,
Eddie Williams, East Point, Michigan.
Carter St. John, Zionsville, Indiana.
Well, a good Saturday afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Alma Scots Football Live on Q104.9 WQBX with live video streaming at almascots.com. Today, live from Balky Field, it's the MIAA Championship game between the Alma Scots and the Albion Britons. I'm Jeff Somerville, Topher Goggin alongside as we welcome you into the Mercantile Bank Scots pregame show. And Toph, the scheduling gods shined down on the MIAA, creating a championship game here at Balky Field. 9-0 Alma, 9-0 Albion. What can we expect out there today?
Well, they call Williams versus Amherst the biggest little game in America. That started about 45 minutes ago out in Massachusetts, but we got the biggest game in the state of Michigan right here today in Alma. As you said, everything is on the line in the MIAA today. Both of these teams ranked. Alma ranked for the first time since the early 2000s, in at number 24, Albion number 19, both undefeated. Both looking for that automatic playoff bid and looking for the trophy that is literally sitting down below us on the countertop down in the press box for an MIAA title. These are schools that have a long rivalry history. You go back into the 1970s and so forth. These were the squads. It was Alma and Albion that were the arch rivals. You know, Hope has kind of slid into part of that role for some schools now, but there is history between these squads. Very similar sizes and enrollments. Albion about 1,500, Alma about 1,400. Methodist founding down in Albion, Presbyterian here at Alma. You can't really get much better than this. And, you know, an Albion program that continues to ride high, looking for their third straight MIAA title. The best Alma College team, certainly since the early 2000s, and maybe further even than that back. Alma has not been 9-0 ever in their history. Right. And the last time that Albion was 9-0 was 1996 when these two teams met that year. An interesting game, Albion winning the game 80-40 of all things.
I don't expect that high of a scoring affair today, but you never know, I guess.
Well, there are some high-powered offenses here. You take a look at an Albion team in the top 20 in passing in the country, averaging just under 300 yards per game, despite having to switch back and forth between quarterbacks due to injuries. That is one thing that Albion is dealing with today, is some injury issues. We will see Luke Lovell, the sophomore, in for fifth-year senior Jack Bush. Bush injuring his ACL during the Adrian game 2 weeks ago on a non-contact injury. Just horrible way for the fifth-year senior's career to end. Just carrying out a fake on an option play went down. But what a luxury for Coach Dustin Buer to have Luke Lovell from Pinckney waiting in the wings, who comes in having already played earlier in the season after an early season Bush injury, and he comes in having led some road wins and so on. So only a sophomore, of course, goes up against a freshman in Carter St. John. We're going to have some exciting quarterback play today, but that's one of the big questions, is how do these young quarterbacks react to by far the biggest stage they've played on?
Oh my goodness, there's not a seat to be had in the house. It's the Veterans Day Memorial game as well, so the field is lined with the American flags, and we've got the honor guard, I believe, coming out here now. And I think we're going to have the Scots coming onto the field possibly as well.
This is not the honor guard music.
No.
This is the Dropkick Murphys, as the Scots will soon be making their way out of the locker room for this matchup that, as you talked about, everybody's kind of been able to see this one coming from a ways away, with it lurking in Week 10, the teams getting off to the great starts. One of the things interesting that Coach Dustin Buer pointed out from Albion, though, is that as they've gone through their MIAA schedule until last week against Olivet, every single team they played was still in contention for the league title. So they were getting everybody's best shot. Yep. And then Olivet, just as a local close-by rival, threw everything at Albion and put a real scare into them last week. Jumped off to a 17-0 lead against the Britons. Coach Buer saying, we didn't deserve to win that game as of the way the first half got played, but then they got on the board with a late touchdown in the first half from Jones Price, and then after that, the second half just belonged to the Britons, jumping out 35 points unanswered, led 35-17. A late touchdown from Olivet made the result look a little closer maybe than it actually was. That has been tested throughout games this year. They had to come from behind against Trine and then had to hold on against Trine thanks to a late interception. If that one had not gone their way, they could have easily gotten away down in Angola. Alma has not really had that circumstance other than the Hope game. They trailed at halftime against Hope, took the lead in the third quarter. Hope surged back. Alma had to get a stop on a 2-point conversion to secure a 28-26 win. But other than that, Alma hasn't really had those in-game tests. And so that'll be a question here today as well.
I would agree with that.
You always wonder, everybody's got their point where the situation starts to become bigger than what they've dealt with before. Coach Buer talked about it last season for Albion. It was in the playoffs. They went 9-1, made the postseason, but then flinched a little bit, was the term that he used in their loss to Wisconsin lacrosse. is there a point that either of these teams today flinch taking on their undefeated rival, because the margins are slim, and something like that could make a really big difference.
No question about that. Both of these teams have been highly successful running through the MIAA schedule so far this season, and it will just be very interesting to see how they actually match up. We've looked at it on paper for a number of weeks now, and it looks to me like they're pretty evenly matched. If you read some national Division III boards and things, you expect Albion to win by about 50. So.
It's two of the best offenses in the MIAA.
Yeah.
Alma at 41 points per game, Albion just below 39. Two of the best defenses in the MIAA. Albion holding its opponents under 12 points per game, including a 51-2 win against Bluffton back in week 2. That saw Albion post, 740 yards of total offense along the way. But Alma's defense, of course, no slouch in the points department, 15.5 points per game, and the turnover numbers as juicy as always, just obliterating the turnover margin, plus 15 for Alma, 30 turnovers forced, 15 allowed. Albion plus 6 in turnover margin. You don't get to 9-0 without leading turnover margin, but both these teams really opportunistic, and Alma probably needs to force two or three turnovers if they're going to get a win here at home today.
Oh, absolutely. Two huge keys to this game that are going to determine who wins the MIAA championship. More rushing yards, win the turnover battle. You do those two things, but you win both of those, you're going to win the football game today. It's cold out. It's November football. Meaningful November football at Balke Field doesn't get any better.
Alma definitely wants to establish the rushing attack today. Over 210 yards per game still, but it has been a little bit tougher for Eddie Williams the past couple of weeks. Held to 58 yards on the ground by Hope, held to 77 last week against Adrian, still leading the league in rushing yards at 862, but just not the huge gaudy numbers, hasn't broken off a big long touchdown in a couple of weeks. Alma would love to see that from one of their two star freshmen, Williams out of Fraser, and then Carter St. John, of course, from Zionsville, Indiana, coming in. Somebody that they knew. It's interesting to talk to people around the program. They knew what they had in St. John. They maybe didn't expect it this quickly.
Right, exactly.
That he would just come in, step into the starting role, and throw for 1,800 yards in the first 9 weeks of the season. With Eddie Williams, they got caught by surprise a little bit. That was something that at early practices they were like, wait a second, this kid is even better than we thought. I don't think that they saw him coming in and leading the league in rushing as a freshman.
No,
and
no,
what a pleasant little surprise to have drop into your lap as a coaching staff.
Oh, that it was, no doubt about it.
Kilty Marching Band out on the field. They're going to lead us in the national anthem here on this Veterans Appreciation Day, the day after Veterans Day. We'll take a commercial break. Be back with football right after this. About 3 minutes away from kickoff here at Alma College. Two ranked teams, 9-0 Alma, 9-0 Albion for the MIAA title, coming to you live on YouTube via almascots.com, on the radio 104.9, Q104.9, and WQBX.biz. And a word about technology for folks. It is cold up here
It
today.
is
These
very
are the coldest conditions we've been up here in. Sometimes that causes problems with the live video stream. We will be monitoring that, doing everything we can. But if you lose the feed at any time today, scribble this down. Have that audio feed ready to go at wqbx.biz, wqbx.biz. That should keep going even if we run into any kind of video difficulties, so you can keep tabs on this game until we can get everything fixed. Speaking of technology,
exactly.
We have a technology experiment ourselves going on as we have brought our sideline reporter Craig Compton out with us today. We hope that the wireless will work down to the sidelines because Craig's down there. Craig, tell us about this atmosphere, as this is unlike anything we've seen at Balke Field in a number of years.
Yeah, it's pretty electric down here. I'll be honest, I'm just out of the way right now. At turn, I've got guys swinging, hitting shoulder pads, firing. So I'm just trying to get out of here alive, to be honest.
Well, good luck, and as you can hear, just with the breeze and the amount of electronics around, a little bit of blipping there, but we can hear Craig, so we'll try to get some reports from him throughout the day. And we are just about ready to go. Captains will assemble out at midfield. One thing we haven't talked about yet, Jeff, is special teams, where the Scots shined last week.
Did.
Josh Hernandez makes 3 field goals from 35, 50, and 56 yards. Longest field goal in MIAA play in history. Not a Scots record. The Scots record is 60 from a non-conference game. But Hernandez clanked one across the back support, right in the middle. It wasn't actually the crossbar, so he actually cleared the crossbar by a small margin. It was dead on line. Bounced that through downwind in the huge breeze last week. Caleb Kinsvatter, 7 kickoffs, 7 touchbacks. That's fairly impressive, too. So the Scots with tremendous special teams. Albion comes in with a little bit of a special teams question, as they do not have star kicker Jackson Cooney, who has a career long himself of 51. They will have Logan Gerwinski handling the PATs. They're lefty today. Just fine last week, 5 of 5 extra points in the game against Olivet, so it's not a big concern, but just any time that you switch over to a left-footed kicker, it's a little bit different. It is breezy out here today. It is nothing like last week, but it is still, it's November football finally.
It is November football finally. They were able to, obviously, if he was 5 for 5 PATs in the wind last week, he'll be just fine. But the field goal kicking, I would be concerned about if I were Albion, certainly. I mean, we watched him warm up. Some range, not.
He has a long of 28 on the season,
I mean,
so they have used him.
Not what you would expect from the other kicker, though,
right,
with a long of 51.
Yeah, just doesn't have Cooney's range exactly. So both these teams with excellent punters. Caleb Kinsvatter, who was announced earlier during part of the Senior Day festivities. Caleb actually listed on most of the rosters as a junior, but he's off to engineering school next year, so this is the last regular season chance that the Scots will have to have Caleb Kinsvatter kicking. You look for Albion. Poor Hunter Williams last week. 67-yard punt, and not the longest punt between these two teams, as Kinsvatter had a 73-yarder. So the Scots win the toss, and they will send their vaunted defense, and it's 30 turnovers forced out there to take on Luke Lovell, the sophomore quarterback, filling in for injured 5th-year senior Jack Bush. Bush is here. He is basically a de facto coach. He actually did not participate in spring ball because he was at a coaching internship in the spring, and that's a big edge for Albion if they have to go to a backup, that Luke Lovell took all of the number 1 reps during spring ball. So he is as experienced of a backup quarterback as you would ever find.
No doubt about that, and he'll settle right in early on, I'm sure here. Not a seat to be had at Balke Field. Hundreds of people lining in the end zone, folks up on top of motorhomes out in the tailgate lot. This is one of the best November football atmospheres I ever remember being in, and we are just about ready to go here for the MIAA championship.
I will be curious if they announce an attendance amount today, which would be...
It would take a lot of counting.
It's very hard to count as well because, like you said, you've got a lot of people who haven't come in. These two teams, the closest analog to today that you could find is to go back to 1994 in Week 8. Both these teams 7-0 at the time. Capacity here at Balke Field is considered somewhere in the 4,000s. The listed attendance that day, 6,442 for a 26-0 Albion win. Of course, that Albion team in 1994 finished 13-0 and won a national title. And I'm sure that whoever wins today would feel quite good about the possibility of heading in that same direction if they could.
No doubt about that. Not quite ready to go yet because we've still got the golf cart on the field after our veteran and the honorary coin toss here, but just about ready to go.
Wind is out of the northwest today, so that will help Kinsvatter a little bit on this opening kickoff. James Bloomfield back deep to return, along with Jere Robinson for Olivet. Bloomfield, of course, the hero of the 20-19 Albion win against Trine with the game-saving interception. We'll see whether the Scots will even give him a chance to bring one back. Kinsvatter goes in his direction and on to the red-maroon, rather, turf in the end zone for a touchback. And Albion will roll things out at the 25.
Just to start, the Scots wanted touchback, get that defense out there, and this is going to be a big matchup. The high-powered Albion offense against the Scots defense, who have given up a lot of yards at times this season, but always seem to make the play when it matters.
That's true. Alma on the year allowing 340 yards per game, including 227 through the air. Albion throws for 298.7.
Yeah. See, there's the matchup right there.
Philip Jones-Price, the senior out of Reed City, is the running back. Over 5,000 rushing yards in high school. He's dangerous. 88 touchdowns in a 3-year varsity career in high school, so the Scots have to pay attention to him. Level from the pistol as we get things underway. Play action fake, level under pressure, and sack now heaves it late. That could be an incomplete pass, but they will say he's down. And the Scots get the sack.
That wouldn't have been an incomplete pass. That would have been an intentional grounding had they called him not down.
Yeah, that's a good point because Lovell was not out of the pocket. A substantial loss of 8 yards back to the 17-yard line, and now Albion behind the sticks. To start things off, Jones-Price moves side by side with Lovell in a more traditional shotgun. They're going to hand it off, try to find a little space in the middle. And Eli Jackson, the first one to get a piece of the ankles. It's a gain of 4 out to the 20. Well, I'll give him the 23, actually, so we'll make it 6 by the time all is said and done.
Big third down for this Scots defense right off the bat here. If they could get a 3 and out, maybe get some field position. You're going to hear a lot of noise down below.
3rd down and 12 on the opening possession of the game. Scots change things up defensively, put nearly everyone along the line of scrimmage, and then one deep safety engaged Nelson. Jackson now drops back at the snap. 3rd and 12, level from the pocket, shoulder fake, waits, throws into the traffic, and is picked off by Flowers, his 6th of the season. Turnover number 31 for the Scots, and Flowers heads to the sideline, upended at the 19-yard line. Alma with another early turnover on possession number 1.
What a start. Flowers just dropped back into his own coverage. Level never saw him, I don't think, though, because that was right to him.
To the extent that Austin Flowers feels slighted that he got left out of the senior day line, they had to they put him at the end of the line. They missed him going through. He got his name called then, and he'll get it called now. What a start. 6 interceptions now. Had a fumble recovery and an interception last week.
All right, let's see what the Scots roll out here offensively. A quick, sudden change situation. Coach Couch has said that he's deviated from the game plan at times
right,
here.
Scots surely had a plan, but it might not have involved starting on the 19. A high snap pulled down by Carter St. John. Hands off into the middle for Eddie Williams. Gets 2 down to the 17. St. John, the star freshman quarterback, 1,800 passing yards on the year. 19 touchdowns against 8 interceptions. The Scots, if you're just joining for the first time this year, go very quickly. 2nd down has already been snapped. It's a flare pass out to the right to Goralski, who drags tacklers forward near the 1st down marker at the 10.
It's going to be very close. Just a yard short, though. He's got to get right to the 10. They're going to mark it at the 11.
This is an important situation for Alma to
is.
come away with 6.
I would argue it might be 4-down territory here on 3rd and very short.
Yeah, barring a loss of yardage, I think that's probably true.
I see Webb coming into the game for some extra blocking.
Frenchko and Goralski go left, 3rd down and less than a yard at the Albion 10-yard line early in the 1st quarter. St. John hands off Williams, heads to his left, leans forward, has it. Not anything to spare,
right.
Not a very generous spot, so let's actually
It's first
hold
down.
on.
They're moving the sticks
now they
already.
will move the chains.
It'll be 1st and goal right at the 10-yard line.
So 1st and goal. Alma, who has struck early in a number of games by way of early turnovers. last week was the Scots who turned it over on their first possession, but the 2 previous games forced turnovers within the first 2 plays. They do it on play 3 today, now trying to strike. Williams on 1st and goal, breaks the tackle, breaks another, falls into the end zone, ball comes loose. What's the signal? They say touchdown. They say he crossed the plane before the ball came out, and the Scots are on the board.
Oh, he broke a couple of tackles. The ball came loose as he crossed the plane, but they say good enough. 6 for the Scots.
Referee or official lost a shoe. So there was all kinds of debris on the field, but Eddie Williams popped as he crosses the goal line, but gets it across in his possession. And with 12:08 to play in the first quarter, the Scots are on the board.
What a start for the Scots here, and the official's still got to get his shoe back on before we have an extra point attempt here.
The back judge stepped up to make that call. Josh Hernandez on for the PAT. MIT
whistles because we got Goralski on the wrong sideline. He had to go retrieve his pack there.
Just looking for safe passage across. They'll reset the play clock, and now the Scots for the PAT. As I said, MIAA Player of the Week, Josh Hernandez with Gage Kruger to hold. Kick is up. Look at that hang in the wind, but it is good. 7-0 Scots. 12:08 to play first quarter. Stay with us. Kinsvatter's kickoff taken by James Bloomfield and returned out to the 34-yard line. Broke 1 tackle and got driven out of bounds there. A very quick turnaround by the officiating crew, but what a start for the Scots. The interception machine, Austin Flowers with number 6 on the year on the early attempt from Luke Lovell.
Very important for the Britons for Lovell to come back out, complete a couple of passes on this drive, have a good, successful drive.
Buffalo had some early jitters on the road at Eau Claire, starting in a smaller facility.
I doubt he's seen an atmosphere like this one either.
Well, that one, though, Eau Claire with no track, so very close, and a 450-member marching band. So it's intense in its own way. First down for the Britons. Little swing pass out to the left. Caught there by Durand.
I really like that play call, though, Toph. An easy pass out to the perimeter.
Durand out to the 41 for a gain of 6. Durand also a native of Pinckney, same as Lovell, but went to Dexter High School. Lovell, one of many players from Pinckney High School on this Britons roster. Second down and 4, 7-0 Alma early. Play action fake, Lovell drops, pocket collapses, rolling out to his left, keeping the play alive, now tucks it away and runs, picks up about 3 along the left sideline out to the 43.
Good job by Lovell.
3rd and short.
I think that was smart to feel the pressure coming, tuck it and go.
Jack Anderson, the first of a number of Scots, of course. Alma rotates its defensive line personnel frequently, keeping them fresh throughout the game.
Critical for Albion to pick up this first down, though. They're going to pack it in tight.
They will. They'll bunch the receivers at the end of the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 2, they need the 45. Little toss to Ryan Roberts, the short yardage back, and he's not going to get it. Soffredini flies through, grabs him along the right side, and he's a full yard short at the 44, and a decision for 4th-year coach Dustin Buer.
Just going to say, what do you do if you're Coach Buer here? He's going to send on the punt team, and oh boy, that's going to just make this place louder.
Well, you don't get to be 29-4 as a coach without making some good decisions along the way, and he's going to trust his team, which has been
little
down
muddle
a couple
here, though.
of times.
Little muddle huddle. You got to watch a fake in that situation.
Alma presumably will be in a punt-safe alignment just in case. And a high spiral-driven fair catch signaled by Goralski. And
Scots were in so much punt safe that the 3 protectors for the punter never even had to break out of their stance.
Hunter Williams doing some good work there. Pin the Scots back at the 12-yard line.
Yep, that is excellent job to flip the field position, certainly. Now let your defense come up and make a big play. But I'll tell you, an 88-yard scoring drive would look awful nice right now for the Scots.
From the 12, St. John looks right, slings a pass into traffic, almost picked off, and instead it springs Frenchco for a huge gain inside the 30, or at the 30 rather, and out to the 39-yard line. An aggressive attempt, I believe, by Douglas to go for the interception.
Almost
Didn't
a pick
get
six.
there.
Scots are ready to go already.
So Frenchco for 26. He'll sling it out to Goralski now on a quick first down snap. Not much there. Give him the 39 for a gain of a yard. Chain's not even set.
Not even
They
close.
Simply got the downs marker in position. And officials, I think, will hold Alma on this second down play. St. John with Williams beside him. 7-0 Alma here in the first quarter. Little play fake. Throwing long down the right sideline. Wants Lauderman, and he's hung up slightly.
A little bit of hand fighting along the way there.
Incomplete at the Albion 30. Lauderman, of course, drew 2 early pass interference calls in the win against Hope, en route to an early Scots touchdown going the other direction here at Balke Field. 3rd down and 10 now. And Alma will slow it down, look to the sidelines. Noah Jansen in as the 4th wide receiver. He and Cole Thomas join Goralski to the left. A lot of space in the middle of the field if Alma wanted to run it. Instead, they'll throw it into that space in the middle, caught by Goralski, but immediately upended and pulled down by Brady Frazier out of Chesning, and he's well short of the first down.
It's a nice play right there by Frazier. Scots decided to take the matchup one-on-one, see if Goralski could break one tackle, but good, sure tackling from Frazier.
So Alma now will send the punt team out and kick it in the direction of Durand. Nonetheless, the big pickup by Frenchco flips the field position a bit. And we'll see whether Albion wants to come after Kinsvatter.
Like
they
it.
show that they will. Kinsvatter quickly gets it out of there.
Might have gotten a piece of it.
I don't know. A little bit of a wobbler, a 2-hopper up to Durand, who's got room on the return outside at the 35. Now 40 down the sideline, 50 into Scott's territory, hops over the top of a defender but lands out of bounds and to an official, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But great field position for the Britons, who will look to equalize this early 7-0 Scots lead starting at the Alma 38.
Kinsvatter, the punt came out of there strange as kind of a liner, and it set up a great return possibility. It was only Kinsvatter who ended up saving the touchdown along the sidelines.
That's where it helps to have a punter of Kinsvatter's size and strength.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly not going to shy away from the opportunity to make a tackle.
It's like they're going to mark it at about the 38-yard line, so great starting field position here for the Brits.
Albion with only 7 yards through 2 possessions after going backwards on their first and then throwing an interception, but now they'll start at Alma's 38. 7-0 Alma. Luke Lovell, the sophomore, starting today.
They moved.
And, yeah, movement, you are correct. And we'll be looking at 1st and 15.
I thought I saw a flinch along the line there, and then the flag didn't come for a moment, but then it did right away.
Offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And that could be some of the crowd noise coming into play here.
Albion is a fairly heavily penalized team, about 72 penalty yards per game. Scott's just under 60 now. 1st down and 15, twin receivers to both sides. And Lovell, the MIAA leader in passing efficiency, hands it off to Jones Price. He runs to his right, gets sandwiched there. Back near the original line of scrimmage, probably got 6 or 7. Mark him at the 36.
It's a really good hard run by Jones Price, though. Got low pad level. Got himself 6 yards, put him in second and manageable situation here.
Comes in with 508 yards on the season, had a big 152-yard game at Eau Claire. Little swing pass Out to the right to Bailey Edwards, breaks the tackle, breaks another, races down the sidelines. Kretschmar tries to get the ankles and can't, and Albion into the end zone, and now an extra point away from tying this up. Bailey Edwards out of Chelsea High School with his 4th score of the year.
A beautiful play. They just exploited the Scots out on the perimeter there. There were 2 Britons and only 1 Scot, and just a good block from the right wide receiver took home out of the play, and they were able to get down pretty easily. Now the Scots confused on the extra point personnel here.
Tiva racing in. This will be Gerwinski, the lefty. Kicked extra points last week to try to tie the game up, and does just that. So with 8:05 to play in the first quarter, all square at 7. We'll be back in just a minute. Seven apiece with 8:05 to play in the first quarter. Albion with a really nice answer set up by the Andy Durand punt return. And then the beautiful screen pass to Bailey Edwards. And we're all tied up at 7.
A big response right there from Albion. And a really nice job to convert off of the good field position from the punt.
Hunter Williams, 3 of 6 touchbacks last week. You can probably guess which kicks went in which direction relative to the wind. Scots with Devin Rice back deep to return along with Buddy Hogan. This is in Rice's general direction. He'll run up and field it at the 10. Across the 15, finds his way across the 20, a little space along the sideline, and Williams makes the tackle, drives him out of bounds at the 35. So special teamers making tackles left and right. What a nice return there by Rice.
Should be pretty good field position here for the Scots, and they need a response now because the momentum swinging back and forth here early in the game.
St. John 4 of 5 early. Williams 3 carries for 14 yards and the touchdown. Alma scored on a short field. Actually, both teams scored on a short field. One set up by a punt return, one by an interception. Little push shovel out to Williams on the edge. Tries to get outside at the 40, finds some space, first down, and then hauled down near midfield. Alma defensive coordinator.
Great gain.
Scotty Cole over there to help Eddie pop it.
Quick 16 yards, though, on that little play. So a little push pass out to the perimeter.
Alma ran something similar to Tyler Walters last week that went forward. Counted as a touchdown pass. Play action, quick swing out onto the wing to Goralski. Going to be hauled down after a short gain. And this is something that Alma wanted to do, was to run those passes to the sidelines to Goralski because they think it will force Albion to spread out.
And I was watching on that play, and they're going 2 or 3 right to Goralski. Left Lauderman one-on-one down here.
2nd and 7 from the 47 of Albion. Tie game, 7-7 first quarter. Little in cut. Lauderman makes the catch a yard short of the first down at the 41.
Fastball from St. John that time.
Quick tackle there from Ricky Pearson.
And that route right there is setting up a deeper route later.
Lauderman comes off. Nate Webb comes on.
A big 3rd and short situation here. And it would be a huge decision time for Coach Couch should they not get it.
3rd down and 1. This time they push it to the edge to Williams going right. Slides through a hole and has the first down to the 37. Just turned his body sideways and slid through the slot.
Scots responding with a nice drive of their own here.
That'll bring Williams off, bring on our first appearance of Buddy Hogan in the backfield today. 50 carries, 241 yards himself for Hogan. So he combined with Williams over 1,000 yards rushing. St. John to throw with some time. High over the middle, looking for Lauderman, and incomplete. Good coverage out there from Douglas.
Both of his deep balls going that direction have sailed a little bit. That wind coming out of the north and west.
Douglas had a pick 6 against Trine after Albion fell behind 10-0. Douglas and Bloomfield, who had the game-saving interception, roommates. So pretty good night in their dorm, I imagine, or apartment, or wherever they might be. 2nd down and 10, the Scots, they want a little fade route, and Lauderman cut to the inside of Larry Platt, and that makes it 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
And the Scots right now at the 37-yard line are in no man's land. One of those deals where you can't really punt, but you certainly don't want to give the Brits that good a field position either.
7-7 with 6:15 to play in the first quarter. Alma on the move, but looking at 3rd and 10. Another play fake. St. John in a lot of traffic, throws it up into traffic and cannot get it to Kruger, who was behind everybody, and incomplete at the 5-yard line.
Not sure how Kruger got so open there. I think they're going to go for it, I would assume.
I think you almost have to. I guess you could have Kinsvatter try to angle it out of bounds or something, but
could kick a very long field goal, but I don't think.
No, that's got to be the punt team. Yeah, there's Kinsvatter.
Yep.
I mean, this would be 55 yards minus a 25-yard tailwind that Hernandez used last week. He's got the wind behind him, but nothing like last week. It's more across.
Well, the goal here is for Kinsvatter to kill this at about the 5.
He does not want to put it in the hands of Durand.
I think he's probably going to take a delay. Oh, no.
They will punt it away, angle it, and that's got a lot of zip on it, and it won't die. He landed it beautifully at the 3, but it did not stop. So it's a touchback and only a net of about 17 yards. And Albion will get the offense back out in a tie football game. 6:03 to play in the first quarter.
Well, the Scots defense with a chance to respond. I would expect Albion to go to that quick pass to the outside with the 2-on-1 real quickly again if they see that.
High school football going on today. Ithaca on the road at Traverse City St. Francis in regional play, trailing against the Glads 7-0 early. St. Francis ranked number 1 in Division 7. Albion from the 20. Lovell, the sophomore, turns, hands it off to Jones Price, who slices through the middle and then meets Odin Soffordini after a short gain of 2.
He went through the smallest of holes down there, but then Soffordini was right there to meet him.
2nd down and 8 after the pickup. We've not yet called, Jeff, the name of Mark Toko, who is in the right side slot. 10 receiving touchdowns. That's 12th in the NCAA on the season. A huge step forward this year after the transfer out from All-American Justin Thomas. He is the number 1 receiving threat. Play action on 2nd and 8. They want everything down the left sideline. Drew Hum turns around and makes the last-second interception, I think. Let's see. Let's wait for the signal. They're going to go incomplete.
They're going to say nobody caught it. I thought Drew turned at the last second and picked that off for a moment, which would have been incredible. I thought he was beat initially.
Brendan Teal had a step. Hum spun at the last second. The ball basically hit him between the numbers, but apparently unable to secure it at the Albion 46.
Big 3rd and 8 here.
Hum, an interception machine in his own right. Not quite as many as Flowers, but for himself this year, 7 in his career, almost had another. 3rd down and 8 for Albion at their own 22. 7-7 tie, 5:25 to play first quarter. Lovell rolls to his right, sets his feet, throws underneath to Durand, cuts inside, close to the first down, but a yard short. Gage Nelson got enough.
Spot.
Oh,
my
you might
goodness.
be right.
Well, it's getting worse, but they send the punt team on immediately.
Only going to be about a half a yard short.
He got a good spot even where it's at, but boy, he's only inches short.
No need to measure because of the touchback. We know that the first down mark is the 30-yard line.
That tells you how much respect these two teams have for the abilities as they're trying to flip this field position at any time possible.
Williams, who had a great first punt, returns. Again, Alma, no attempt to pressure it. A high spiral and another fair catch from Goralski at the 27.
2 really good punts for Albion here early in the game, but stops from both defenses. Kind of stuck on 7s here for a moment now.
I mean, you know, looking statistically, you wondered, these are dominant offenses and dominant defenses, and you never know quite what you're going to get. As you said, probably not the 80-40 score from 1996. But the defense is settling in. Remember, both touchdowns scored on short field situations. First down, Scots from the 27. Buddy Hogan, the running back, follows the offensive line to the right, cuts up the middle of the field, and finds his way out to the 31. That's good for 4.
Scots would take 4 a pop the rest of the way, I'm sure.
If this happens to be your first time tuning in for the Scots this year, Hogan started the year as a defensive back. They brought him over to offense in week 2 and found something. He gets it there and finds nothing in the backfield other than white shirts from the Britons. Loses 2 of the 4 he just got.
Yeah, St. John maybe wanted to keep that one himself.
Not sure that Carter would have found it a whole lot easier with the number of people that were living in his neighborhood.
Chance to get off the field quickly for Albion here.
3rd down and 8. Scots go 4 wide. St. John drops to throw. Here comes the pressure. Just throws it away underneath at the feet of Hogan to avoid grounding.
They tried a little inside screen, I think, but did not develop quickly enough, and the Scots will have to punt it away.
Based on the blocking, I think you're right that was supposed to be a screen because there basically was no blocking. Noah Anderson came flying through there along with Eddie Hines. But there was nothing to do other than turf that one if you were St. John.
Well, Scots need to get down here and cover this punt, as that's been a big key in this game so far, is the return.
Durant had a 13-yard return last week, but a big one on
this
his
is
first try
returnable
this week.
again.
Another one hopper. Durant camps under it at his 30. Steps away from the first block, crosses the middle of the field. Scott's waiting for him there and brought down at the 38. Nice work in special teams by Ryan Nolan to not block in the back.
Yeah, it was.
Just kind of went hip to hip.
Yeah, you could kind of see it developing, and it was a really nice job.
7-7, Eddie Williams opened the scoring for the Scots after an Austin Flowers interception. Albion came back after a Durand punt return, tied things up, and they've got it back at their own 39. Oval in the gun, gives it off to Jones Price, heads to his left, finds about 2 yards worth of space. No big opening, just a little bit of a push as much as anything else.
Yeah, a lot of traffic over there. Left side of the Albion line, right side of the Scots D line.
Jones Price, a great story at Reed City, basically taken under the wing of Coach Monty Price into his household, and that's where the price of Jones Price comes from.
All right.
Second down and 8. Jones Price again, no, faked, and a screen pass, and dropped out there by Nick Christian as they try to drop it off behind the line of scrimmage, and the big guy couldn't hold on to it.
That was, well, he was wide open.
It was one of those passes that comes from almost so close that it got up by the face mask.
Also, he's a big enough guy. He would have been tough to bring down once he started moving.
3rd and 8. Teams have traded a handful of 3 and outs here early on. Bubble calls for the snap, takes a deep drop, now steps up, throws long down the sideline, trying to get it to Neal out there. He camps under it, tips it to himself. Hum can't catch up, but it's a touchdown for Albion. They talk about the Luke Lovell deep ball, and that was right on the money to Brendan Teal.
That was an absolute beauty because he got just drilled from both sides as he threw that one too. But got out there, and again, the Scots beat deep.
Edwards, the first touchdown on a little bubble screen. Teal, the long one there for the 5'11 junior. Berwinski now for the extra point to try to make it 14-7, and does just that. 2:52 to play in the first quarter. The visiting Britons into the lead now, 14-7. We'll be back. Albion bounced back from a 17-0 deficit last week. This week they shake off a 7-0 deficit and lead now 14-7 here at Alma College. Sort of a sidewinder kickoff, bounces at the 8 and goes out of bounds. Devin Rice lets it hit the sideline. Alma will start out to the 35, but now trailing in what I believe is only the second time they've trailed in the first half this year. Late in the first half against Hope and then today.
Sure. I mean, they need a response here. They need a big response. The offense has kind of been stuck in neutral these last few possessions. I think you want to get the ball to Williams, just running between tackle and guard and see what he can do. He looked awful good on that first possession.
The Britons defense that only allows 93 rushing yards per game. Vulnerable a little bit more, 206 through the air. But you look at their scores on the season. They shut out Carthage in week 1, 51-2 against Anderson, 49-17 against Rose-Hulman. Alma starts from the 35. They'll fake that and instead swing it out to Goralski again. Goralski makes the first tackler miss, brought down by Douglas at the 39 for a gain of 4.
Albion has been very, very good against that so far.
As we mentioned, that is almost a proxy for the Scots running game.
Yes.
Twice on the season, Goralski with 10 catches. Had 3 grabs for 42 yards in the opening touchdown in Alma's 30-10 win against Adrian last week. 2nd and 6, approaching the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Handoff Williams, cuts it back into the middle, surges forward for 3. Give him the 42. Jeremiah Major makes that tackle, a first-team all-conference selection last year.
The right side of the Albion D-line is really getting into the Scots backfield pretty nicely.
Noah Anderson leading the way down there. Third down and 3 for Alma from the 42. St. John on a sprint out. Throws on the run. Got Frenchco open, and he pulls it in at the 33
Wow.
of Albion for a first down and then some.
You've got the 3rd and short. You don't expect to go deep, and sure enough, that's just what the Scots did. Frenchco behind the defense, and a good throw by St. John. Scots are ready to go here.
Frenchco had a 20. It in at the 33 of Albion on a catch and run. Now the big one down the sideline as the Scots try to answer, trailing by 7. Williams to the right on first down. Good for another 3. Pulled down at the 31. Johnson makes that stop for Albion. Second down and 7. Scott's ready to go. Bunch the receivers in a little bit. There's the push to Williams on the left side perimeter. Cuts inside near the hash marks. Going to get himself up to about the 26, which will make it 3rd and 2.
Pretty good spot there.
As the wind continues to howl.
It is gusting a bit right now. I don't know if that's in my microphone or Craig's down there, but it is gusting.
3rd down and 2. Scott's ready to go. They push it right to Williams and stood up at the 25, leans forward and reaches the ball. He's going to get very close.
It's going to be decision time. If I'm the Scots, I go for this.
Yeah, I actually quickly. Don't think this is much of a decision. Okay.
This is.
Oh no, yes, it's just personnel change.
Yeah, this is
still
rife.
the offense. Yes. What did you say the name of this package was?
I think bomber formation.
That's right.
The bomber package.
The bomber package with Davin Rife at quarterback, 16 of 21 passing with 5 touchdowns, 3 more on the ground. The Scots do this in short yardage situations. Quickly on 4th down and 1. Might be a hard count, actually. Now they'll look to the sideline after Albion is disciplined and doesn't go. Alma did this deep in Adrian territory last week, then snapped it high, and Rife fell down. And timeout called. Alma's going to.
They were about to run out of
this one. Yep.
Time there.
So they initially run the hard count, and now they'll make a decision. It is 4th and less than a yard. Ball is at the 25-yard line. Need the 24.
End of the first quarter, too.
Oh, they didn't have to call timeout. They just let the quarter run out. You're right. So we'll quickly pause. Albion by 7 at the end of 1. 14-7 Albion after one. A packed house here at Balke Field, treated to an exciting first quarter, and it's going to be an exciting start to the second quarter as Alma prepares to go for it on 4th and less than a yard at the Albion 25. Davin Reif out of Frankenmuth, the short yardage quarterback, comes in now with Tyler Walters at running back. Reif looking right, wants to throw for it. They get Webb, which is their favorite target here, and he's got the first down and then some inside the 20, pulled out of bounds there, and add yet another career game for Nate Webb with a catch.
That is definitely their favorite play out of that formation. Whistles an official's timeout here.
Every game that Nate Webb has played the last 3 seasons, he's grabbed a pass, and today no different. The officials talking about, they have not moved the chains yet. Is there a...
No, they haven't.
I didn't see a flag.
Could be a question on if they got set or not. Wait and see.
Started.
Oh,
what is
Craig,
it?
Craig says the clock did not start.
Clock never started.
Thank you, thank you.
That's why we've got Craig here. So unless Nate Webb is operating a time machine, we're going to have to run a few seconds off, but the first down is going to count.
Let's hope so. Scots certainly don't want to have to run the play again.
Well, the umpire is standing at the 20-yard line with his arms crossed, marking where that spot's going to go, I believe.
Yeah, you don't want to see him move, that's for sure.
A lengthy talk. I don't know if it's anything more than the clock issue. It seems like a long time to be deciding how many seconds that took.
Now we've got Craig right out there near the 10-yard line trying to listen in and see what's going on.
Sunshine trying to peek through. Fans lining the stands, all kinds of alumni events. Of course, Coach Couch talking about all the number of people that he's heard from. One alum driving from Kansas and picking up some friends along the way, former football players.
Long delay here.
A long delay means I get a chance to mention the Williams-Amherst game, the biggest little game in America, which is 14-10.
To 14 minutes and 56 seconds. The down counts. First down, Alma.
Excellent job by the officiating crew. Got everything just right, and the Scots drive will continue into the red zone here. Absolutely have to finish this drive with a touchdown.
Anyway, that was 14-10 Williams in that one for probably no one out there who cares other than me. First down from the 20. St. John to Williams into the middle, and a nice tackle by Jeremiah Major. That might get a half a yard is all.
It's just not there.
Major, the leading tackler on this Albion unit, came in with 68 stops on the season.
Oh, but Noah Anderson is down.
Anderson, part of that right side of the defensive line that you've been talking about.
Yes.
Very bright young man. I'm not certain what his major is because different things that I read, no, seriously, different things that I read said either accounting or physics, and for all I know, it might be both.
That's quite a deal.
Yeah. His dad played tennis for Eastern Michigan. Exciting night for Eastern on the basketball court last night as
no doubt.
Monty Bates nearly single-handedly took down the University of Michigan. Michigan needing a team effort and a late rally to hang on at Little Caesars Arena. And good news, Anderson pops up and walks off the field under his own power. Guided by the Albion training staff, but they don't seem to be helping him at all. He seems to be all right.
He'll be just fine, I think.
2nd and 10 for Alma from the 20. 14-7 Albion, 14:40 to play in the second quarter after we got the clock issue resolved.
Officials giving both teams a little extra time here now.
A little bit of an opportunity to regroup. Offensive coordinator Zach Riepma gets right out in the middle of the Alma huddle.
White hat now actually telling the Scots to stay in their huddle, so.
Still trying to sort something out here. Well, it's been a bit of a choppy start to the second quarter.
Yeah, we've only run 20 seconds off the second quarter clock so far.
As the wind picks up.
For an injury for one of the officials.
Okay. Oh, our official is getting worked on over there. He was the one that got run over long ago over there on the sidelines, and I think he's just now getting taped up a little bit over there.
Probably taking advantage of the stoppage.
Oh, I think he was,
when
absolutely.
Anderson went down to say, hey, while we do this, why don't we?
Yeah, because I see him getting tape all around his leg there. So yeah, he's just gutted it out for a good 20 minutes probably since he got run over. That's quite a job.
So while they do that, we'll see if we can check a couple more out-of-town scores for you. Latest update from Ithaca and St. Francis, still 7-0 St. Francis. Don't know, that hasn't been updated in a while. MIAA play, Trine with the lead against Kalamazoo, 21-0. Obviously, both Alma and Albion would be pleased to see Trine win that. Potentially helps their case in terms of lobbying for an at-large bids to the NCAA tournament to whoever does not win this game today. You talked about this a little bit last week, Jeff. 5 at-large bids to go with the 27 conference bids. And everybody this week trying to crunch the numbers and figure it out. The general consensus seemed to be that Albion would have a little better chance than Alma to get in if they lost today, especially if it was a close game. But Alma certainly clinging to the hope that they could find a way into postseason play even if they didn't win, but neither team really wanting to think about that. They didn't want to take that chance. They want to win the game today.
Look at this wrap on the line judge's leg. What a gamer he is.
Interesting, a thigh-level wrap.
Yeah.
We're on the...
All right, even he says it's a championship game. He's not coming out.
We got to go.
Impressive stuff right there. And here we go for the Scots, 2nd and 10.
Alma, after a lengthy break, planned out whatever they might like on 2nd and 10. Williams and St. John in the backfield. Little play action fake. They want the fade route towards the corner, and Goralski gets hung up. Wants a call there that he is not going to get. Larry Platt in the coverage. And that makes it 3rd and 10.
I can give you an update on that Ithaca game. 21-0 St. Francis, and the Glads are driving again. Okay. So kind of what was expected, I think.
Well, keep in mind, that's a St. Francis team that has beaten Jackson Lumen Christie. They beat Detroit Country Day in Week 9. It's
both of those teams are still going.
Yeah, it's one of the best St. Francis teams in recent memory. It was always going to be a big ask for Ithaca to go up there to Thurlby Field and come out with a win. 3rd down and 10 for Alma from the 20. St. John in trouble back at the 30. Now throws it in the middle of the end zone, and it's a leaping touchdown catch for Cole Thomas.
Big time play, Cole Thomas.
Throws on the run, got Frenchco open, and he put the 4th career touchdown for the IPHS Major. Trouble back at the 30. Now throws it in the middle of the end zone, and it's a leaping touchdown. Behind the line of scrimmage, heaved that as he got hit, and now Hernandez with a chance to tie the game.
Oh.
Good snap, good hold. Hernandez gets a hold of it, and we are all square at 14 once again with 14.5 minutes to play in the half. Stay with us. Kinsvatter angles the kickoff to the left. It lands at the 15-yard line, scoots towards the sideline. Bloomquist has to pick it up, over on the sideline right at the 8-yard line.
Just died right there at the 8.
Bloomfield, pardon me. Thought that was going to go out of bounds. It still might have, but it was so close that he couldn't dare leave it there.
No, I don't think he could have risked it any longer.
Bloomfield, somebody that they refer to as the Swiss Army knife of this Albion team, plays on both sides of the football and in the return game.
And if you're the Scots, a quick 3 and out here. Get yourself off the field and get that field position flipped, because this is not good starting spot for the Britons.
Albion from the 15.
Now in a tie ball game. Wow, what a response from Alma on that offensive possession.
Luke Lovell, 110 passing yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception on the day. Keeps it himself on a quarterback draw. and crosses the 20. Well, they're going to say I'm just short of the 20, actually. Lovell hasn't run too much this year. That's his 26th carry, but only 50 yards, 1 touchdown. Soffordini with the stop on that one. Tied an Albion record with 6 touchdown passes against Rose-Hulman, +1 on the ground. Of course, that's a former stop in the coaching career of Alma defensive coordinator Scotty Cole. 2nd down and 6 now from just short of the 20. Lovell taking his time at the line of scrimmage. Kretschmar retreats defensively. Quick pass out to the sideline looking for Toko, and a flag flies as Connor Duma got hung up on Toko. He's going to wish he didn't because that was not a very good throw.
That pass was way outside, and yeah, Duma's going to definitely wish that he did not commit that infraction.
Nonetheless, I think Alma will overall feel pretty good that that's the first time that Albion has even thrown in the direction of Mark Toko in the 2nd quarter.
Pass interference, defense, number 11. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul.
Not going to be a very long penalty.
Penalty only costs Alma 4 yards. It will be a 1st down.
Does cost him a 1st down, however, but that's one that the Scots would like back because that ball, I think, must have slipped out of Lovell's hand.
Nick Christian set up at a wing back on the right side. Philip Jones-Price is the running back for Albion on 1st down at the Alma, or at their own 23, sorry. 14-14 tie here in the 2nd quarter. Jones-Price, a little bit of a hole up the middle, but filled quickly by Jackson and Soffordini at the 27.
Give him about 4.
Soffordini, Alma's leading tackler again this season, 71 coming into today.
In a lot of those games, he's only played the first half.
True. 2nd and 6 after the Jones-Price pickup. Motion from Christian, who then sets up on the left side of the offensive line. Penetration from Robertson, but getting away from it as Jones-Price makes a nice move in the 2nd level at the 30 and should have the 1st down out near the 34.
That's going to be 15 more right there. That's silly.
Eli Jackson gets a little frustrated and gets a shove in there on Dalton Hart after the play.
In a championship game, 15 yards could be crucial.
Interesting tidbit, if you remember, Jeff, when Hernandez kicked the 56-yard field goal and the Scots were assessed an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty last week, that goes against the entire team, meaning that if any Scot had picked up an unsportsmanlike after that, that would have been their 2nd for the game and a disqualification.
Yeah, Nate Goralski was talking about that this week when I was talking to him, and the officials made very clear to the team that any other personal foul, and they were gone. And I think that's a little harsh, frankly, because I thought it was harsh for the Scots to be penalized on that.
For a certainly not taunting, pure glee celebration.
I thought it was a bit much.
Here, though, the personal foul moves Albion out to the 49-yard line. And a 1st down as Lovell calls for the snap, gives it off. Jones-Price into the middle. Nothing doing, leans forward for 2 by the time all is said and done, but not much space in there. Flowers makes that stop. Flowers had the early interception that set up the Eddie Williams touchdown run. Albion scored the next 14, and then Cole Thomas, a leaping touchdown catch, tied the game back up at 14. Albion now trying to retake the advantage with 12:15 to go in the 1st half, just into Alma territory. 3 wide for the Brits. All deliberate at the line of scrimmage as he has been most of the day. Drops to throw, looking left into the 2nd level, and airmails it out of bounds, trying to find C.J. Weems.
Well, he had Weems trying to find a soft spot in that zone between Flowers and Hum, but just threw it a little bit too far outside and out of bounds, and now a big 3rd and 8 situation.
Yeah, there was a window, but it wasn't going to be open for long.
See if the Scots can get home here.
3rd down and 8. So far today, Albion's been pretty conservative on 4th down and punt decisions, so a stop here from Alma might get them the ball back. Lovell wants to throw for it with some time. Rolling to his right as Oswald tries to get through, drops it off to Christian, and there is a flag down. Would be a 1st down at the 30, but it looks like Oswald was impeded enough.
I saw it and I was
Oswald tries to get through, drops it off to Christian, and there is a flag. My eyes had moved along with the ball before the flag came out. You were wildly gesturing, which told me what must have happened. But I think that's a good call. Oswald, who leads the Scots with 3 sacks this year, held by Masuga out of Cedarville. A lot of size on this offensive line from Albion.
Huge.
Scott Roskop, 315 pounds out of De La Salle in all-conference selection last year. Masuga's 290. So that negates the first down catch by Christian, who had gotten down near the Alma 30. Instead, 3rd down and nearly 19.
Great timeout from the Scots sidelines. They didn't like what they saw.
So while they pause, we will too. 11:35 to play in the first half. It's a 14-14 tie. Teams trading crucial penalties on this drive. First, a Connor Duma pass interference gave Albion a first down. A personal foul moved them out near midfield, but then a hold backs Albion up into 3rd and 18. From their own 41, they'll need the Alma 41. Level along with Ian Goins. Backfield, drops, throws over the middle, caught near the initial mark, so it's 10 yards short of the first down as the Scots swarm around there and take down Teal, who had the touchdown streaking grab earlier.
That's excellent coverage by the Scots, though. Keep that marker in front of you. Good tackling, 3 or 4 Scots converging. Albion should be able to put Alma in pretty poor field position here, though.
Teal's touchdown earlier was his 10th career touchdown grab. Now Hunter Williams to punt it away. Scots come this time, almost get through, and they get a flag.
Yep.
Possible roughing call. We'll see if this is roughing or running into.
Penalties are just killing Alma right now.
Punt is fair caught by Goralski at the 10. If it's a 5-yard penalty, it will not be a first down, though it could lead to an Albion decision. If it's a roughing, it's going to be an automatic first down and great field position.
Yeah, I'd decline the penalty if I'm Albion if it's running into. And based on how long the referee is looking over, I'd say that's what it is. Let's see.
Scots had not rushed on a punt all day. Then they brought the house this time, but were a hair late.
They're going to decline it. Yep, this is going to be running into the kicker, Toph.
I think you're right.
Running into the kicker. Defense. That penalty is declined.
All right, so like you said, excellent field position here.
Well, excellent work on the punt by Albion. Not excellent field position, as Alma will start at their own 8.
Yeah, excellent job by Albion to flip the field position, right. I guess is what I'm talking about there.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, the Britons have Alma in a world of hurt here. This is how Albion scored their first touchdown, is they had Alma in trouble, and then the punt followed by the long return.
Carter St. John, 95 passing yards and a touchdown on the day. Stands at his own 3-yard line to start this possession. He'll give it off to Eddie Williams. Doesn't see much in the middle. Tries the sideline. Finds a little bit of space there, and that'll get him out near the 10. Still, you see the strength of this Albion rush defense that allows just 93 yards a game.
I don't remember Adrian last week was only allowing 66 or something of that nature.
58.
So. Well, that's even less.
48 rushing yards for Alma coming into this possession. 2nd down and 8. St. John tries Williams again. He's going to work to the right, finds a little bit of space, Stood up at about the 13, wiggles
Man,
and
oh,
squiggles his way out to the 16. That's 3 extra yards after the contact. Good work there by Eddie.
Yeah, that was quite a run right there by Williams. Makes it a 3rd and short situation. This would be a big pickup for the Scots just to try to get it kicked out from the shadow of their own goalposts a little bit.
Williams 5'10", 185, so not the biggest running back out there, but certainly strong enough to run through some contact. 3rd down and 2, it'll be Williams again. Not going to get there this time. Driven backwards at the line of scrimmage. And that will bring on Kinsvatter. See Julian Malasco weaving his way through traffic. He's the long snapper for Alma's punt team. 9:30 and counting to go in the second quarter, so lots of time left here in the first half. 14-14 tie at Alma College. Pair of 9-0 teams. The winner gets the MIAA crown and an auto bid to a playoff game next Saturday.
Scots need Kinsvatter to get some air under this punt to avoid the return.
That's the one thing that Williams has done very well today.
I know it'll be a bit into the wind, but
Durand stands at his own 45. He torched the Scots on return number 1. Albion with decent pressure. This does have a little more air under it, but it's rather short. Durand from midfield, straight ahead, and Holloway with a great tackle at the 41, but excellent field position for the Britons.
yes, this is great field position for Albion. Chance to go back up in this ball game.
Lovell at 118 passing yards. Jones Price leads the rushing attack with 29 for Albion. But for the most part, Albion's offense has broken down into the 2 big passing plays and hasn't really been able to move the ball just in a steady fashion too much.
I think I'd look deep here if I were Albion. They've got the wind going downwind.
So far, star receiver Mark Toko held without a catch. Did draw 1 pass interference penalty on the previous possession. A lot of awkward flinching along the offensive line. Play action fake, thrown out to the left, caught by Edwards, and brought down for the first down near the 28. I thought everybody went early there.
I thought
on both sides of the line myself.
Well, that's one where you just let them go, I guess. You can't call the penalty on both teams.
Call it square. Down towards 8.5 minutes to play in the half. Ryan Roberts is in at running back out of Tecumseh. He draws a fake, then they'll throw over the middle and diving across. Duma with the left hand punches it away from Teal.
What an athletic play by Connor Duma.
Teal had a half a step, but the ball maybe just a click late. Safety help was coming as well. Just another tight window, and that time Lovell couldn't quite fit it in there. 2nd and 10. From the 28, 4 wide for the Britons. Here's Roberts running to his right with a bunch of blockers out front, cuts back inside, and Jackson makes the stop there at the 22 after a pickup of 6.
That was well blocked by the Briton front 7 there.
Talk about this experienced Albion offensive line. 3rd and 4.
This might be 4-down territory for the Brits. I'm not sure they would kick a field goal from this far back.
With Gerwinski, the backup, that's a possibility. They'll go 5 wide and empty out the backfield from the 22. 7:50 to play in the half tie game. Lovell quickly throws to the right, diving
Great
grab
play.
by Teal, has it at the 16 to move the sticks.
Just did exactly what they needed to do there. Now into the red zone go the Britons, trying to retake this lead here.
Alma led 7-0, 14 straight from Albion, then Alma's tied it up, which is where we stand at the moment at the midpoint of the second quarter. Ball over to the right hash. Albion moving north to south. That's right to left from our perspective on the home sideline. Pass to Durand out behind the line of scrimmage left. Great move, gets him past Gage Nelson. Duma will push him out of bounds, but you don't see Gage Nelson get faked like that very often. Durand jabbed inside and then went to the sideline.
Yeah, that was a great play.
6-yard pickup to the 10.
Scots need to find a way to hold them to 3.
Roberts remains at tailback. Lovell with 2 touchdown passes already today. Again, swings it out, and Toko cannot pull it in. Incomplete behind the line of scrimmage. That throw is a little bit low.
Scots are getting real upset with holding on Bailey Edwards out here on the perimeter. Both Safardini
claiming that Edwards is holding.
Both Safardini and Hum said something to the official that time, and to get Drew to say something to the official, something's got to be going on.
Toko had 6 catches last week, could not pull that one in. 3rd down and 4. Jones Price returns as the tailback. Side by side in the gun with Lovell. He wants to throw for it. Sets his feet, looking around. Nobody there. Will he run?
He should be running.
Dancing to the right. All kinds of space in front, trying to stay behind the line of scrimmage. Throws late. No, he shouldn't, because it's a touchdown to Neal, or to Teal. I've made him Neal multiple times. Brendan Teal with his second grab in the back of the end zone. What a job by Lovell to keep that play alive. Passes up the first down and turns it into a touchdown.
Passed it up multiple times. Might have passed up his own touchdown even.
20-14 as Gerwinski comes on. And boots the extra point through. Brendan Teal. Albion back on top after now the 11th career touchdown reception from Brendan Teal out of Waterford Kettering, a 5'11", 170-pound junior.
It's a nice job by Teal to just keep running after everything broke down on that play. Keep running, find yourself a spot.
Lovell dancing and dancing and dancing and staying behind the line of scrimmage. Keeps that alive and puts his team back up by a score. 6:52 to play in the half. Rice for Alma from the 10 on the return. Sidestep at the 20, and that gets him space that finds him out to the 31 before all is said and done.
Still 6:46 to go in the second quarter, and what's a high-scoring game for a game that seems like the two defenses have been in control of a lot of the time.
Well, and that's because the possessions that have led to touchdowns have oftentimes not been long drives. 2 of the 3 Albion touchdown drives started in Alma territory. This time Alma will operate from their 31. Carter St. John, freshman quarterback, hands off to Buddy Hogan. And Hogan going to be stopped for no gain.
That run defense from Albion looking really, really strong so far.
56 rushing yards in the first half for Alma.
Well, we said we believe whoever wins the rushing battle and the turnover battle, if one team wins both of those, they ought to win the game. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Albion with only 37 yards rushing. St. John under pressure on second down. Rolls right, throws long. Goralski wide open, and he dropped it at the 45. Oh, Nate Goralski can't believe it.
Oh, man, that was going to be a huge play.
Goralski got lost behind the defense. St. John was the only one who found him, and off the fingertips and incomplete.
Oh, my goodness. That one's devastating for the Scots.
3rd down and 10, no time to wallow though. Up tempo to the line of scrimmage, they're ready to go. St. John rolls right, throws back on a screen to Cole Thomas, well behind the line of scrimmage, steps away from Douglas, but is not gonna get away from Johnson. And it's a big loss. As the Scots try a little misdirection in the passing attack, but unable to spring Cole Thomas, and now is when it gets dangerous.
It does, because it's gonna be good field position again based on Kinsvatter just not having his normal huge legs so far today.
I think partially affected by the conditions and partially by the pressure.
There's been
Albion
a rush every time, yep.
They're rushing 8, but getting through with those 8. Kinsvatter pulls the snap down, and this one's blocked. Scooped up inside the 10-yard line. Albion got one with Piscopink last week, and they get another one here, and now they will start at the 8. The pressure came from everywhere.
Yeah, the Scots have had a major problem on that punt team all day long. The pressure has been getting through.
Mullen scooped it up. I didn't see who got the block. But here is where The Scots defense has been so good in these
They have been.
situations this year, but this is kind of what we talked about. Does the stage change?
Yeah.
Albion talking last year about flinching in that playoff
Go
game.
right back to that Goralski drop that would have been a huge play across midfield. Instead, right now it's 1st and goal, Brits.
5:25 to play in the first half. Albion from the 8-yard line, handoff to Jones-Price, stops, cuts to his left, trying to get outside of Kretschmar, strung out, still stuck behind the line of scrimmage, still just trying to find anything, and eventually loses 4. Gage Nelson along with Kretschmar on the stop, Dunwoody as well.
Can't believe a hold wasn't called out there.
Nonetheless, Scott's defense firing and swarming to the
Oh, yeah.
ball. Philip Jones-Price unable to get out of the backfield. 2nd and goal, back at the 10. Toko in the slot to the right, 10 touchdown receptions on the year. Play action, looking for Toko in the back of the end zone. Gage Nelson breaks it
What
up.
a play by Nelson. What a play by Gage Nelson. He never did turn around, but he put the hand up because he knew it was coming.
Right off the back of the arm of Gage Nelson in 3rd down. Even though it would turn it into a 2-score game, the Scots would be delighted to force
Oh,
Albion
gosh,
just
yes.
into a field goal here after the blocked punt. Too wide to the right, 3rd down and goal from the 10 for the sophomore Lovell. Drops, has some time, steps up in the pocket, slings it into the middle, hit at the goal line, caught but not into the end zone. A great hit by Flowers.
What
to
do you do?
Save the touchdown there on the pass to Nolan.
I think you've got to go for it.
Nolan has 3 touchdown grabs. Do they want the 10-point lead?
They're going to go jumbo here.
Ryan Roberts, known as the short yardage man, he comes in. Christian, the big tight end, comes in. Albion on 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. They'll go from the gun, leading by 7. Roberts relocates to the left side of the formation. They'll give it to him, try to get the big man in. The Scots plug it up, it's close, waiting for a signal, and they say down. The Scots get the stop and get away with no points on the board.
Wow, what a stop by the Scots defense. This place will erupt. Alma football at the 1-inch line. Now, if you're Alma, how do you get it out of here?
Well, that's next to be figured out, but Albion ends up being victimized by the Nolan catch, which tempts them into going from the 1. Otherwise, it would have been an easy field goal. And meanwhile, what a stop by Austin Flowers on that goal line to keep Nolan out.
See if it's Rife in there. I'll bet
Walters,
you it will be.
Yep, you're correct. Go with the so-called bomber package. They've run this essentially inside the 5-yard line at both ends of the field.
Yeah. See if they just try to get Webb out there for 2 or 3 yards.
Got to remember if you throw that you cannot hold in the end zone.
Well, this throw happens so fast that.
Rife in the end zone. Scots from their own 1-yard line trying to get an offsides penalty to generate a little space. That will not work. Rife only 5'8". They've used him in these situations all year, and now another whistle.
That's a delay of game, which is not a big deal whatsoever.
Second time that's happened to Alma this year. Happened down at Trine as well, where they were penalized.
I'm not so sure that that's not intentional right there. Just trying to get the offsides.
Literally cannot move the ball backwards. So Walters on, Webb on. Alma's going to huddle this up and then break out of there, ready to do something. Quick snap, Rife will try to run it out himself, and he does. Gets to the 5, now out to the 6, and mission accomplished. And here comes the traditional Scots offense.
Excellent run by Davin Rife to find a hole between tackle and guard. Squirt out of there for a full 6 yards.
3:35 to play in the first half. Alma down by 7 at 21-14, but just escaping with a goal line stand after the blocked punt. Carter St. John returns, gives it off to the freshman Williams. He's out to the 9. That'll make it 3rd and 10. One of the things the Scots talk about, Jeff, is getting what they call the first down.
Yep.
Any possession, they want 1 first down. They want to do that 80% of their possessions.
A big 3rd and 1 situation right here. They didn't pick it up on the last 3rd and short.
Scots 48% on third down this year, Jeff, 19% last year. That is one of the huge differences in this team. 3rd and 1, they want Williams to do it for him, and he does, into a swarm of tacklers, but he's well past the mark, out to the 14, almost to the 16.
Excellent job right there by Williams and the offensive line.
Williams over 50 yards now in the first half as Alma grinds this one out. Scott's really not that concerned about the clock yet.
Well, they get the football to start the second half as well. If they could get any sort of points here, that would be huge.
Play action. St. John will do it with his feet, then slides down, gets hit afterwards, and there's
there
the flag.
Go. I can't believe for the life of me that the guy standing right next to it didn't throw that flag.
But I'll tell you why. Jeremiah Major did not hit Carter St. John hard. It's simply that because St. John slides, the contact is the penalty.
You can't hit him.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
It's a tough one on Major, but it is the correct call because Carter St. John gave himself up with 3 tacklers around. And that now gives Alma a little bit of ideas, might you say. The ball will move out to the 36. First
you
down,
want this to be your last
play.
possession of the half. You don't want Albion to get the football back.
Albion
2 for 1 or 2 for 0 here.
St. John from the pocket, looking up top into double coverage for Lauderman and over the top of everybody and incomplete. Lauderman just hasn't been able to get open. Clearly, Albion is focusing on him in the receiving game. Goralski leads the Scots statistically at 36 catches, 395 yards coming in, but Lauderman 391 yards, wasn't very far behind.
No.
Incompletion stopped the clock with 2:21 to play in the half. 21-14, Albion leading this one.
I think if I'm Alma, I run the football here and then move the clock a little bit.
3 wide, go to the left. Thomas is hidden at a tight end on the right side of the line. It is a run to Williams, but Albion is ready for it, and Eddie Williams is going to lose 2.
Yeah, they were definitely waiting for it. See if they use a timeout. They're not going to.
Nick Fannin, a 2-time MIAA Defensive Player of the Week, leading the way on that stop.
I'll be interested to see if the Scots bleed the full 40 off of here. I think they're probably going to.
Fannin, Jeff, on the year had 56 yards worth of loss. It falls incomplete. He would not have gotten the first down anyway.
No.
So Elma's going to have to punt and hang on for 1 minute and 40 seconds. Obviously, job 1 is simply to get the punt away.
Yeah, they got to get it off, and job 2 would be to allow no return.
Hiskapink blocked a punt last week.
And they're coming the exact same way.
Olenek blocked one against Kalamazoo. They can do this. 3 blocked punts already this year, and Kinsvatter just gets it out. It's not the best one, but it takes a great bounce forward, and it's going to work just fine.
Yeah, Kinsvatter kind of quick kicked that, but it turned out just great for the Scots right there.
Rolls all the way down to the 21.
And took 12 seconds.
45 yards on the punt. And now I suppose it's decision time for Albion of how aggressive do you want to be here.
Scots only have 1 timeout left, so I think if Albion would just run it into the line, if they want to run the clock out and go to halftime with a 7-point lead, I think that that would be, well, obviously the Scots couldn't do anything about it. So,
yeah. But do you want to air it out when you've got Mark Toko and his 10 touchdowns?
Well, and they've hit a couple of real big pass plays already today.
Toko very hard to tackle if they can get the ball in his hands. I wouldn't be surprised to see just like a little screen to him. Bubble the throw, first down, they'll swing it out to the left. Instead, and a pickup of about 7 out there to Durand. I can't tell you.
That's a gain of 2, not 7.
Oh, sorry,
so.
wrong 5-yard line. I can tell you, Jeff, that late in the game against Trine, leading by 1, Albion continued to throw, did not try to run it at all to try to run the clock out.
Well, they don't seem to be overly confident in their rushing attack.
2nd and 7. Level into the middle. Caught at the 32 and driven backwards from there is Edwards. That is a first down.
Scots can't go too gentle on the defense here. They can't go into a full prevent or else Lovell's just going to pick that apart.
Minute and 13 as the clock gets restarted. Albion from their own 36, first down, leading by 7. Late here in the first half at Balke Field. Lovell Rolling to his right, throws over the middle,
What a
caught
catch.
again by Edwards. Sorry, Toko that time.
Saffredini had a hand on the football, too.
Toko with his first catch at the 40 for 7. Under a minute. 3 down linemen for Alma. Friedenberg shows blitz. Here he comes as a 4th rusher. They pick him up. Level steps out to his left. Going to run with this one. Little stutter step. Now gets away and steps out of bounds into Alma territory at the 49. And a really smart play by Drew Hum not to even touch Luke Level as he went out of bounds right after that penalty on the hit on St. John.
That was smart.
Would have been really easy for Alma to pick one up going the other
Oh,
direction.
gosh, yeah, and 15 would have been huge right there.
Still 39 seconds to go in the half. The Level scramble gets him to midfield.
On Albion with 3 timeouts as well.
Goins just on the right of Level, who drops, looks left, then throws into the middle, and it's going to be wrestled away and picked by Friedenberg. Once again, Bryce Friedenberg, his 5th interception of the year, and now Alma with 33 seconds to decide what they want to do.
You go here if you're Alma. When you get the football to start the second half, they're going to take a couple of shots, I can almost guarantee. At least get to where Hernandez can try a field goal.
2nd interception of the half, thrown by Luke Level.
Well, Level, they lulled him to sleep with that prevent defense and then moved it up a little bit, and Friedenberg stepped in front, kind of wrestled that one away.
Friedenberg out of Ray City, John Glenn, 6'1" junior DB, forced a fumble last week against Adrian. 6th career interception for the young man, and the Scots now with 32 turnovers forced on the year. 33 seconds to go in the half. Carter St. John drops to throw, looking down the sideline. Frenchco doesn't turn back, and it's overthrown. Frenchco cut inside on the post. St. John thought he was going outside, incomplete.
You take another deep ball shot here?
You might. I think the only peril with that is that if you do, you do run the risk that you're going to have to get a punt out of here.
Right, exactly.
3 wide to the right. Fake it to Williams. Little stutter step. Now St. John, a sack all the way back at the 40. Pressure came. Carter had to tuck the ball away to protect it. Clock now running, and we'll see whether Alma's going to try to do anything now on 3rd and 19, or if they will just let this run out, which they can, and head to halftime.
Yeah, they're not going to want to run a play, I don't believe.
Still standing out there, nobody walking in the locker room. They could call timeout. Now they start walking. Halftime here at Balke Field. What a game, 9-0 against 9-0. It's a 7-3 break. Don't go in. for their final regular season home performance of the season, and we will turn them up and play them for you here on the Sounds of Halftime on Q104.9. Arby's group here entertaining this gigantic crowd at Balke Field. A fair number of whom apparently headed to the restrooms, as you found out during the break.
You know, normally the Kilty Band is just taking the field when I come back. They were taking the field when I got to the tunnel to exit the stands.
To try to leave, yes.
There is a mass of people here, and I went all the way over to the Hogan Center, where we'll be at the Art Smith Arena after this game, a 5 o'clock tip-off for the Alma Scots men's team. So looking forward to a little doubleheader action here today.
Let's have Elmhurst coming up a little bit later, wrestling at the Adrian Duels today, cross-country regionals, and bowling down at Adrian for other Scots sports programs. Here it is Albion leading Alma 21-14. The winner of this one finishes the season undefeated, claims the MIAA championship trophy, which is sitting downstairs right now, and an automatic bid into the Division III playoffs starting next week. The loser will have to wait until 5:30 tomorrow afternoon to find out if they may have found their way in as an at-large bid. But a hotly contested first half, Jeff. 21-14, Alma strikes first, courtesy of a Flowers interception. Takes the lead 7-0. Albion answers back with a couple of scores. Alma then comes back on a sort of desperation throw from 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Carter St. John finds Cole Thomas in the back of the end zone. That tied things up. Albion retook the lead, then blocked a punt inside the Alma 10-yard line. Alma gets a 4th down stop on the goal line to maintain their deficit at just 7. Second time this year at home they have trailed at the half. They were down to hope at homecoming, came back, dominated the third quarter, and held on to win that game. This obviously is a different caliber of opponent. This is a very, very good Albion team, but the Scots have given themselves a chance.
They absolutely, Toph, have given themselves a chance, and it's going to be about the adjustments that these two staffs make at halftime, who makes the better adjustment, because the first half was quite even. And Alma needs to get going a little bit offensively, certainly, and have to see what they come up with. I'm not sure what the answer is. The Alma running game was okay. Not great, but okay. Passes were maybe just a hair off at times, but there were open receivers deep downfield for the Scots a couple of times. The Goralski drop there late. They hit a couple of nice ones as well. Frenchco had a big one. I think there's a lot there for the Scots. It's just what adjustments do you make to find it? And also, they've got to work on that punt unit, because Kinsvatter is under far too much pressure kicking that out of there. He's had to adjust his entire style in order just to make sure he gets it out.
Sure, obviously the best adjustment you can make in the punting game is don't have to
exactly,
punt.
Yeah.
That would be that'd be plan A. But should they have to, which obviously both teams have had to deploy their punters a fair amount today, that has been a big difference. Of course, the punt block didn't lead to points, but nonetheless, Kinsvatter just has not been able to function as a weapon. He has just had to try to be utilitarian and take what has been available for him. Total yards in the first half, Albion with an advantage there, 223 to 161. Most of that is the passing game, courtesy of Luke Lovell. 14 of 22, 182 yards, 3 scores, but 2 interceptions. The second one killed a little bit of a drive. The first one set up the Alma touchdown. So the usual suspects in that interception game for Alma: Austin Flowers, Bryce Friedenberg with the picks, running through some of those Albion statistics. Rushing attack, Alma's rush defense really has done the job. Philip Jones-Price held to 27 yards on 8 carries, Lovell 4 for 8, and Roberts 2 for 6, including getting stuffed on the goal line. Brendan Teal has been the primary receiving threat. 4 catches, 83 yards, 2 scores, one of them on a bomb and the other on a play that took about 15 seconds that Lovell kept alive forever. Bailey Edwards had the opening touchdown on a bubble screen where he made a move at about the 35-yard line and then sprinted down the right sideline to pay dirt. Andy Durand, 4 catches for 22 yards. His primary contribution was an early punt return that set up the first Albion touchdown. Durand, a 42-yard return on that one. Ryan Nolan, a 10-yard catch that needed about 10.5 yards as Austin Flowers brought Nolan down on the goal line to preserve the lead at just 7. Alma holds Mark Toko to 1 catch for 7 yards in the first half, which is just unbelievable. Toko on the season, I don't have the numbers right in front of me. I believe it is 6 games that he's gone over the 100-yard mark this season. Alma holds him to 7 in the first half. Roberts had a 1-yard catch. Over for Alma, Carter St. John goes 10 of 20 through the air, 91 yards and a touchdown. Davin Reif throws a 5-yard completion to Nate Webb to convert a first down. Eddie Williams, 16 carries, 62 yards, and the game's opening touchdown. Reif had a 5-yard carry to get out of his own end zone effectively. Buddy Hogan carries for 2 yards. Carter St. John ends up in negative territory because of that late sack. Devin Frenchco, 2 catches, 51 yards, one a long one down the sideline, one a short pass where he then got away after Stephen Douglas went for the interception and did not get past. Cole Thomas, 2 catches, 16 yards, and a touchdown for 20 yards, plus a 4-yard loss on his other one. Ty Lauderman, a 6-yard grab. Nate Webb, the 5-yard catch that we told you about. And, you know, not finding anything easy, I think. They just, you know, Albion has been just disruptive enough that Alma can't quite do what it wants. It's just a little bit out of sync. And if they could get that back, then, you know, they're right in this one. Otherwise, they're going to have to continue to lean heavily on their defense, who definitely did their job in that first half. Goal line stand, even though Albion puts up 21 first half points. Remember that they average 39 a game, and gaudy over 450 or 30 minutes of football for the conference title.
Every bit the game we expect to.
Piece of MIAA immortality on the line. As we've talked about, a loss today does not necessarily end the Scots season. They would hold on and see what happens with the selection committee tomorrow, maybe hoping they could find one of those 5 at-large bids to the Division III National Championship tournament. Unclear what the chances are of that. Different people analyzing it have had different opinions about it.
Right.
But nonetheless, it's a heck of a lot easier to just come out on top in the football game and not have to worry about it. Don't have an MIAA score from Olivet and Adrian. We do have the Trine Kalamazoo score. That game tilting 35-0 in Trine's favor. Hope off today. Hope had to play the first 10 weeks of the year, and then they get their bye week after their season is over. So that's one of the things that the MIAA has to deal with only 7 conference schools. That, of course, will change probably in a couple of years. Calvin has announced that they are adding football. They have not announced when they will begin play. I have seen both 2024 or 25.
Yes.
But they have announced the program. They will hire a coach, begin recruiting in the process of building all the support staff and things that they will need.
They also have to build a stadium.
Well,
they'll play somewhere else
at
first, I'm sure.
Eventually. Being in Grand Rapids, you got a few good options.
There are plenty of options, yes.
Not be a problem. Speaking of Grand Rapids area football, we've mentioned Drew Hum multiple times. His older brother Anthony plays for Grand Valley today against Davenport to try to secure an outright GLIAC title in a 10-0 season as they get ready for the D2 playoffs starting next week. Give the Hum boys a shout out as Alma natives.
Final regular season game for both of them.
Very true. Minute and 16 left on the halftime clock. If you're just reading, 21-14 Albion at the half. Both these teams 9-0. Playing undefeated late in the season for the first time since 1994. Albion won that one 26-0 and went on to win a national title in front of 6,400 fans at Balke Field that day, officially, which means unofficially.
Yeah.
And we have not heard a count today, but we will estimate it at a lot.
Oh gosh, yes. There were scores and scores of people when I was downstairs at halftime, and the atmosphere has been phenomenal from the word go here, and expect it to stay exactly the same in this second half.
Weather update if you're listening or watching from afar. 39 degrees right now. Wind in the 8 to 10 mile an hour range down on the field, but with some gusts that have come and gone.
Yeah.
So not the stormy gale force winds that we had last week against Adrian that led to 56-yard field goals and 73-yard punts and 80-yard touchbacks, but not easy conditions to play in.
No,
either.
not at all.
It is dry, however.
Scots will get the ball to start the second half, and I think the first drive of the second half is going to be of utmost importance.
Yeah, you mentioned halftime adjustments. Obviously, Alma and Zach Riepma and the rest of the offensive staff has had as much time as they'll have all day to draw something up and figure out what they want to do to try to attack this talented Albion defense. And we will get to see that right here as the second half gets underway. Hunter Williams is the kickoff man for Albion. He'll get ready to put a foot into it. Of course, Albion has been a terrific second half team. Look no further than what they did against Olivet last week, trailed the game 17-0, scored right before half to get within 17-17 or 17-7, then ran off 28 in the second half. Buddy Hogan from the 10-yard line to start the second half with a Scots return and upended at the 23. A nice reach. There's the Swiss Army knife in Bloomfield, who reaches out with one arm and upends Hogan, who otherwise would have had some space.
Yes, he would have. And nevertheless, a decent return. Scots will get started here at the 26-yard line.
Fifth-year senior Alex Dean in those pink taped-up shoes. Student teaching during the week, snapping the football on Saturdays. Leads his Scots unit out. They'll push the little toss out to Williams on the left, and Albion's seen that one a few times, and it goes nowhere.
Just trying to take advantage of the perimeter, but not so right there.
Loss of 2, Fannin on that stop, adding another tackle for loss to his season stats. Albion leads the overall rivalry between these schools 67-47 with 5 ties along the way. Second down and 12. Williams into the middle this time, and maybe good for 2. Set up 3rd and 10.
Not the situation Alma wanted to get themselves into to start the second half.
Tackle on that one by DeAndrick Sanders, a Saginaw Swan Valley product who we saw both in football and on the basketball court in high school.
For 4 full years.
Speaking of 4 full years, Bobby Willis started every game for 4 years
Wow.
in his high school career at Jackson Lumen Christie, a DB for Albion. 3rd down and 10 for Alma, trying to throw a little in cut. Frenchco leans back for it. Did he catch it? This is close.
First he caught it. Second, it is first down.
They're going to say complete at the 39.
What a
An
catch by
incredible
Frenchco.
reach back. That ball thrown behind Frenchco. And the Scots move the chains, keep the drive alive. 3 wide to the left, give to Williams again, running back to the right, and right into the arms of Noah Anderson out of Mason. Anderson was banged up in the first half, loses his hat on this one. He'll jog off, another loss. And Alma continuing to find it tough going in the rushing attack.
No doubt about that.
Maybe the biggest stat from the first half, Jeff, is that Alma's longest rush was 16
Right.
yards, and I think the second longest is probably maybe 6.
Oh, the 10-yard touchdown run, that's it.
2nd and 11. Oh, good catch. Yeah, you're right. Thrown over the middle, caught by Goralski. First down and more, up the hash mark on the right side, and Nate Goralski has Alma into Albion territory, and they want to move.
Yes, they do.
From the 37 off the Goralski grab. Tyler Walters in, takes a play fake. They'll swing it out to Goralski on the left. Couple of receivers blocking for him, but he can't really shake free. Gets a couple yards down to the 34.
Albion's done a great job against that play tonight.
Yeah, Alma has run it multiple times. Goralski now with 7 receptions. 2nd and 7. First drive of the second half, Alma down by 7. Hogan in at running back. St. John drops, wants the little throwback on a wheel, and Hogan is wide open at the 20-yard line. Down inside the 10, a block, and Buddy Hogan in for an Alma touchdown. They're an extra point away from tying it up.
34-yard touchdown catch by Buddy Hogan. He flooded out of the backfield, and a great
Yard line, down inside the 10, a block, and Buddy
are right back within 1.
Goralski with the pickup over the middle, and then the throwback. This time they wheel Hogan out down the sideline, and Albion cannot catch up. Now a crucial extra point for Hernandez. PAT up and through. 12:42 to play in the third quarter. It's all tied again, 21 apiece. Stay with us. Well, after a couple of slow plays to start the half, the Scots hit a big one to Goralski over the middle, and then Buddy Hogan on a wheel route. And they tie this thing up at 21 with undefeated Albion. Squib kick from Kinsvatter, hops away and then is fielded on the bounce, returned out to the 38-yard line. It's going to be Joseph on the return on the one hopper. Initially, that was Mullen who blocked the punt, I believe, who could not field it.
That wind is really gusting from the north now, so they elected to go on the ground.
Albion rolls out to the 39-yard line, but finding themselves back in a tie game as they have been multiple times today.
Yeah, they've never flinched.
Luke Lovell, 182 passing yards, 3 scores, 2 interceptions in the first half. 4 down linemen for Alma as we start the second half on Albion's side of the ball. Jones-Price into the middle and into the arms of Jalen Dunwoody for no gain.
Dunwoody's been so good all season long.
Second and a long 9 coming up. For every bit that Alma is up-tempo, Albion is not.
Once in a while they will go up-tempo, but for the most part they have taken their time.
Very deliberate at the line of scrimmage. Lovell, remember, the backup quarterback coming on starting today as he has multiple times this season as fifth-year senior Jack Bush has been injured. Jones-Price up the middle for 3. Mark him at the 43, 3rd down coming up.
Oh, if the Scots could get a 3 and out here. That sideline, which is already probably as amped up as you can get, will be going crazy.
Alma trying to replicate the 3rd quarter from the Hope game when they also trailed at halftime. 3rd down and 5, empty backfield for Albion. Ball right in the middle of the field, just shy of the A. Lovell, quick throw over the middle, dropped by Toko and incomplete. Gage Nelson was there and the footsteps were heard.
Toko heard the footsteps, the ball was thrown just slightly behind him. And a big time 3 and out by the Scots defense. Now, punting downwind, does Alma try to bring a little pressure? Otherwise, they are not going to get good field position at all.
Well, at the same time, they've already picked up a running into the kicker penalty earlier. Running into the kicker would likely be a first down on 4th and 5. Alma shows pressure from 10. They bring 3. It's a driving punt, fair catch signaled on a fake by Goralski as the ball lands at the 3 and bounces into the end zone.
Great job by Goralski to know where he was at on the field. Let that one go over his head, bounce into the end zone for the touchback.
Alma gets it back with 11:15 to play in the 3rd quarter. So a quick exchange, Alma with points and a stop.
Oh, what a great start to the second half if you're the Scots.
Tied up 21 apiece. Winner gets a trophy and a game next week. St. John and Williams in the backfield. Thomas moves to an H-back. He'll try to block Williams, trying to get outside to the right. Nope. Loses a yard, hit hard up high by multiple Britain players. Major leading the way. Johnson in there too.
Just nothing in the running attack to start this second half for Alma, certainly.
2nd and 11, St. John rolls to his left on a sprint out. Throws caught underneath by Goralski, short gain, but keeps his footing and picks up about 4 more out to the 25 to make it 3rd and 5.
Good job by Goralski to step out of the tackle, and good job by Frenchko to immediately recognize that and start throwing blocks.
Alma will hustle, ready to go for this 3rd down attempt. Goralski gets up on the line of scrimmage to the right. Now Alma takes a look to the sidelines, didn't get what they wanted in the quick set. Frenchko will relocate all the way out wide to the right. Still 15 on the play clock, lots of time to get this off. 3rd and 5. St. John, the freshman from Indiana, steps up in the pocket, wants to run for it, has the first down now, steps to the side at the 30, sprints to the 40, all the way to midfield, up over the top, hit hard there, but down to the 43-yard line. Carter St. John doing it with his legs.
What a run by St. John, weaving his way through the middle of the field, across midfield and into Britain territory.
Alma trying to seize control here in what is now a tie game. They trailed by 7 at the half, have already scored once here in the third quarter. Williams straight ahead for 3 on first down to the 41.
Alma needs to keep tempo here, I think.
Alma averaging 41 points per game on the season. 21 at the moment today. 2nd and 7, French go in single coverage out to the right against Ricky Pearson. Little misdirection, they'll swing it back to Goralski. Now back to St. John on a trick play, looking long. Lauderman open, can he pull it in? He's got it at the 1-yard line. They call it a touchdown. Lauderman across, I thought the knee dragged, but either way, the Scots, the double reverse pass, and they're in the end zone for the lead.
I've got to imagine that
But can he pull it in? He's got it at the 1-yard line. We had heard there was some potential razzle-dazzle, and there's some razzle-dazzle for sure.
Found a way to get Lauderman open.
27-21. Officials having a brief discussion here before the Hernandez extra point. I think there might be a penalty being assessed on the kickoff.
The result of the play is a touchdown. Albion, Spanish, that could be assessed on the kickoff.
So Albion picks up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the play. That'll be assessed on the kickoff. And now Hernandez to try to make it a 7-point Scots lead that they haven't had since 7-0.
Falls silent.
Kruger to hold. Low snap, gets it down, kick is up and through. 28-21, the Scots put 14 on the board in 5:31. You're listening to Scots football on Q104.9. Ty Lauderman's 3rd touchdown catch of the season comes courtesy of a handoff again to Goralski. Goralski a pitch back to St. John, and St. John a long pitch about 40 yards down the field, caught at the 1. Lauderman tumbles across the goal line, and Alma takes a 21-14 halftime deficit and turns it into a 28-21 third quarter lead.
Well, see what Albion can do to answer. They've had a response every time so far. Can't get the ball to stay on the tee, first of all.
Kinsvatter will need a courtesy hold from his buddy Brock Beaudry, who did this many times last week. Kinsvatter was able to get it into the end zone, into the wind from the 50 last week.
It would be huge if he could right here. It's so much colder today, though.
Yeah, this is kicking a rock instead of a ball. Look at it hang up there, but he's got it 4 yards deep, and Albion lets it go.
Yeah, that's one thing to talk about with these field goals that we have not seen attempted, and Kinsvatter's shorter punts. That's a perfect explanation. You're kicking a rock instead of a football. Last week, while it was breezy, it was also 65 degrees.
That's right.
Today, it is less than 65 degrees.
It's just the difference in where the jet stream parks and whether your wind's out of the north or the south. 9:29 left in the third quarter, now a 28-21 Scots lead. Luke Lovell, remember, sophomore quarterback in today because Jack Bush from Chelsea out for the season with an injured ACL, their star fifth-year senior who threw for 27 touchdowns a year ago. Lovell, who's played 6 or 7 games in a large amount this season, gets a swing pass out to Durand on the sideline, who sprints across the 40 for about a 15-yard gain. Earlier step at the 38, but still a first down. Ryan Roberts on at running back. Fake it to him. Lovell pulls it back, throws over the middle, caught by Toko, and he's got his second reception of the day and the first one for a big gain into Alma territory at the 40.
That was a great throw right there by Lovell.
Toko came to Albion as a quarterback. They convert him to wide receiver, and then he steps into this primary receiver role this season after Justin Thomas transferred to Eastern Illinois. First down from the Alma 39, Alma by 7. Albion looking for their own response now. Scott switch into a 3-down alignment and now jump offside, free play. Lovell wants to throw for it, off, caught on the sideline, and pushed out of bounds is Edwards.
Flag never came.
I don't think they flagged it, did they? It's a 9-yard gain regardless. Teal actually on that grab, pardon me, not Edwards.
It's a great response by Albion so far, though. They've just walked it right down the field.
This is a team that, as you said, just not intimidated by being behind on the scoreboard. They've had to deal with it a couple of times this year and have always bounced back. 2nd and 1. Another quick screen to the sideline to Teal. Sprints up with a good block in front from Toko down to the 20.
Almost going to have to make a little adjustment as far as that goes. It's been there most of the afternoon.
Yep. Touchdown to Edwards that way to open Albion scoring. That tied the game up at 7. 8 minutes to play in the third. Albion down 7, but driving at the Alma 21, first down. 2 receivers, then an H-back. That's Toko. Hand off to Roberts into the middle.
Bad
The Scots
choice.
are ready for that one. Dunwoody and company. Robertson, Jackson, Frederick. Yeah. Albion has not handed it off on that mesh very often. And
No, they
it did
haven't.
not work that time.
No, Alma was there. Big loss of 3.
2nd and 13 back at the 24. Edwards wide to the left. Toko in the slot. Teal wide right. Lovell looking to his left. Now scans the field under pressure, and the Scots get him all the way back at the 32. It's big Evan Mativa out of Midland Dow.
Big time sack from Mativa. Now 3rd and long in 4-down territory for the Brits. Mativa comes off.
3rd down and 20 as Durand comes in.
Mativa missed last week's game with an injury. Not this time.
Albion goes 5 wide. Will they try to get this in chunks here?
I think so.
From the 31. Lovell indeed will throw it underneath. Caught by Teal, brought down by Drew Hum at the 24. That's going to bring up 4th and about 13. Albion 7 of 11 on 4th down this year, and they're going to summon the field goal unit.
Oh, I would not trust this for a half a second.
They've got the breeze with them.
They do have the breeze. From 41.
Logan Gerwinski, 3 of 3 on field goals this year. Jackson Cooney, 5 of 7, but not available today. Gerwinski's long is 28. This will be a try from 41. Williams to hold. Kick has plenty on it.
Beauty.
And it is through.
Woo, what a kick.
Nicely done. 28-24, 5:59 to play in the third. We'll take a break. Be right back. Alma 28, Albion 24 on a Logan Gerwinski 41-yard field goal. Hunter Williams boots it away. And Buddy Hogan, pardon me, will take it from the 15 out to the 30.
Fine starting field position for the Scots here. Now leading by 4.
Hogan, who caught the beautiful wheel route touchdown, tied the game up at 21. Then Lauderman on the trick play. Albion answered with a dominant drive, and then Alma just pushed back with 2 big losses.
Big-time field goal, though, by the Brits.
Give to Williams on first down for Alma, turns it up along the numbers, gets a yard to the 31. And there have been a lot of those for Eddie today.
There have been.
Albion just not giving much ground to the Scots rushing attack. French go wide right. Goralski slot to the left. Play action, quick throw on an in-cut, caught by Goralski at the 37. Hauled down immediately. Makes it 3rd and 3. That's 9 catches now for Goralski today.
Oh, they're going to go.
Well, I'm going to bring Reif in.
So, oh, there he is. I was going to say I didn't see him, but 3rd and a long 2. This is an interesting call. I like it, I think.
Haven't seen Reif in the middle of the field as much this season. They did run him on the 4th down play in Albion territory. Dean breaks out of the huddle early. He's set up. Now the Scots will come quickly to the line as they did back on the goal line. Set, fire. Reif drops, wants to throw. Pump fake under a lot of pressure. Now just heaves it late. This is very dangerous and incomplete.
Oh, that one blew up in a hurry.
Up over the top of Overway there.
I think they wanted Webb on the little flood out to the left, but it wasn't there.
It was fairly clear that Reif was improvising.
Oh, yeah.
Overway covered by Pearson. Pearson 7th in the country in passes broken up this year. Didn't have to break that one up. 4th down and 3, and here comes the Albion punt rush. They already got one in the first half. Kinsvatter on a one-hop snap, gets it away. Good job by the pocket protectors.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that pocket protector was that basically just lifted a Briton out of the way. Fabulous job by Kinsvatter to get it out of there.
Gets it down to the 26-yard line. And Albion will now get the ball back with a chance to take the lead. Well, that's interesting. They have announced an attendance record today of 4,405. I was looking earlier today at the records that Albion submitted to the NCAA in 1994 for their stats, and that showed the attendance that day of 6,446. So obviously that was an Albion number submitted. Regardless, a lot of folks here.
Yes.
Handoff to Jones-Price up the middle for Albion, and not much again on first down. It's been a rough day in the rushing attack.
For both teams.
Yeah.
Both teams have been stopped up quite a bit in the rushing game.
Jones-Price 33 or 34 yards, depending upon how many they give him right there.
I would go 2 on that one.
2nd down and 8. 4:06 to play in the third. Alma with a 4-point lead. Pair of 9-0 teams squaring off in the last week of the regular season. Straightaway drop from level with excellent protection. Throws over the middle. Caught there short of the first down, though. That's Dylan Dennison. Tight end who makes that grab.
Scots are going to try to substitute here along the line.
3rd and 2.
A little bit surprised to see Christian going off the big tight end in this situation. I would think they would have wanted him out there.
They keep Dennison instead.
They're going empty.
Yep, 5 wide on 3rd and 2. Scots go with 4 down linemen this time. 3:18 to play in the third. Albion down 4 from their own 34. Lovell from the empty backfield pulls it down, rolling to his left, trying to stay behind the line as he has often today. Throws it to Durand. Did that stay in his grasp? It did.
Sure did.
That's a great catch by Andy Durand at midfield for a first down.
I'll tell you what, I do not like that play call at all on 3rd and short. But it worked.
Got the job done.
Yeah.
Now Albion will go up tempo. You've mentioned that every once in a while they will click it up, and they do right here. Flare pass out to the right. Durand again. Great block from Toko. And Durand off to the races. Now flags everywhere.
There was a hand up under the chest piece there. The flag didn't come, and then 2 came at the same time.
So what would have been another first down pickup by Andy Durand is not going to count.
Really impressed with Andy Durand. He's been very, very good so far.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Durand, 30 catches, 361 yards. No really big games this season, but back in April of 2021, he had an 11-catch, 174-yard game in that spring season.
For sure, I would believe that.
Was actually named MIAA Special Teams Player of the Week that week. Had 32 yards in punt returns, but I think it was more of just a general across-the-board achievement.
Long conversation here, which they've had a couple of long ones today.
They have. The flag is quite a ways up the field, and they moved it to place it where it belonged. Here we go.
There are 2 fouls.
There are
on the
2
play,
fouls.
One by each team.
Okay.
Personal foul, defense, number 17. Holding, offense, number 6. Those penalties
well, we're
were
just
all
gonna
set.
do
Replay,
this again.
first down.
So Gage Nelson whistled for a personal foul. It's actually Teal. So the block from Toko was okay. It was Teal's block that was called as a hold. And after all of this, we'll just try 1st and 10 from the 49 again.
Yeah, exactly. Just took up a few seconds.
2:47 to play in the third. The last
Both
team
coaches a little confused, both asking questions.
Last time these teams met here, Jeff, was 2018, which went to double overtime, where Jacob Plisco hit the upright for the Scots, allowing Albion to squeak away with a 37-34 win. Lovell screen pass to Durand again, this time hemmed in behind the line of scrimmage, almost gets away, but eventually pushed out of bounds after a gain of 1.
Fabulous job by Durand to get away from there. I think Friedenberg tried to wrap him up, and he wrapped up his hand warmer instead, because I saw Bryce give the hand warmer over to a Albion staffer. I think that's how Durand got out of there.
That works well in a flag football game, not so well here.
All for no gain, though.
2nd and 10. Jones Price in the backfield, twin receivers to the left along with an H-back. Ball on the right hash mark. Handed off, Jones Price running to the right to the short side of the field, and it's too short, not enough room. He can't turn the corner. Dunwoody Jackson there for the stop, 3rd and 10.
Huge 3rd down here late in the 3rd quarter for the Scots defense.
Alma 28, Albion 24, 140 and counting in the 3rd.
Albion obviously could pin Alma deep again with a punt, but they want to keep this drive going and take the lead.
Alma so far with a 14-3 edge in this 3rd quarter. Goins into the backfield on 3rd down. As the snap comes back to Lovell. Shuffling to his left, pressure comes from Robertson, now takes off on the run at the 45, wrapped up there by Drew Hum, and he's a full 5 yards short.
Fabulous tackle from Drew Hum, and decision time now for Albion. What a great open field tackle by Drew Hum, though.
No hesitation, the punt unit comes on, and that's been the decision that Dustin Buer has made all day. Buer, one of, I didn't realize this till today, 5 different MIAA coaches coaching at their alma mater. Of course, Jason Couch as well, Jim Deere at Albion, Coach Zorbo down at Kalamazoo, Peter Sturzma at Hope. A lot of folks stay home in the MIAA. Tells you about the tradition, a high-hanging punt, fair caught by Goralski at the 7.
Yeah, it tells you about the tradition, tells you about these communities that are represented in the league. Just fantastic, the camaraderie all across the league.
For sure.
So 37 seconds to go in the quarter, and the Scots backed up against their own goal line again here at the 7 or 8 yard line, but with a 4-point lead.
Sometimes you're just more willing to have that bad field position if you get your side of the scoreboard.
Yeah. They're going to go jumbo here, but with Carter St. John.
Yeah, sort of a mix and match package, but it is Walters at running back, and he gets it. The Ogama Heights product, not finding any more space in the middle. He backs out, going to try the left, see if he can get out of there. Goes all the way back to his 3 yard line. Flags everywhere.
Got to be some holds on there, I would assume.
Yeah, Alma's not going to like that one too much.
Walters with a heck of an effort for a 0 yard gain, but this one's going to move back 4 yards, I believe, a half the distance to the goal penalty.
32nd carry on the season for Walters, who had a receiving touchdown technically last week on a shovel pass. 2 carries for 10 yards against the Brits last year. That was a 34-7 Albion win last year. Alma generating only 108 yards of total offense last year.
Oh, on the offense. It was on Walters. I wondered if they were going to get that. I wondered if they were going to get Walters on that, because I kind of saw it as he went around the corner there.
It's always a little tricky where the line ends between a legal stiff arm and an illegal face mask.
Well, he was just doing anything he could to get out of there, but now backed up to the 4-yard line.
You know, it's interesting that Albion takes the 4-yard penalty rather than what would still have been 2nd and 10 or 11, but it puts Alma in very uncomfortable quarters. Alma leading by 4. They'll try Walters again. Barely gets out of the end zone. Now finds a little bit of space out to the 7. Penetration initially came from Dwayne Leggett. Walters turns it into a gain of about 4. And that should do it for the third quarter. Scott's going to let that run out, so we will pause as well. 15 minutes left. Alma takes the lead in the third, 28-24. We'll be back. $15 minutes remain in regulation here at Balke Field. Alma 28, Albion 24. Albion led this game 21-14 at the half. Alma came out with 2 touchdowns in 5.5 minutes in the third quarter. Albion came back with a nice drive, but Alma bottled it up, turned it into a 41-yard field goal by Logan Gerwinski. Alma now looking at 2nd and 11 from their own 7-yard line as we'll get underway here in the fourth.
Not a whole lot separating these two teams through the first 3 quarters. Should be a classic here in the fourth, no doubt.
Carter St. John, 17 of 27, 218 yards, 3 touchdowns. Luke Lovell on the other side, 22 of 31, 264, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 2nd and long, handoff Williams, and he trips forward.
I think St. John tripped him up.
It could be. Not sure the play was going very far anyway, but now puts Alma in an uncomfortable 3rd and 11. Remember, Alma has already had 1 punt block today, and Caleb Kinsvatter has been under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's thrown off all of that Alma punt unit. I mean, that last snap came back along the ground.
So Alma would like anything but to have to punt out of their own end zone here. 3 wide receivers come left on 3rd and 11. St. John drops to the goal line, throws quickly. It's caught at the marker, and Frenchco's got the first down out at the 20.
Huge first down. Great throw and catch. St. John and Frenchco keep this drive alive.
Devin Frenchco was held to just 1 catch for 2 yards last week. That's his 4th grab today, and they've all been big ones. First down from the 20. Screen out to Goralski on the left. Good block by Lauderman. Gets Goralski to the outside.
Tackle.
Great open field tackle by Stephen Douglas.
Fabulous tackle by Stephen Douglas out there. Still a gain of 5, though.
Douglas, who's scored 2 defensive touchdowns this year, both 65-yarders.
Scots would like to avoid his 3rd.
2nd and 5. Williams to the right, out to the 30 for 3. Make it 3rd and 2. Alma continues to keep the tempo high, still 13 minutes. No ability to try to manage the clock at this point. Alma by 4. Looking at a 3rd down at their own 30-yard line. Webb comes in. St. John rolling to his right now, takes off on the run with a hole. Good tackle there, but he's got the first down at the 35. A quick burst. When Carter St. John says go, he goes.
Yes, he does. Big time first down again. The Scots with 2 first downs to start this 4th quarter. Still a long ways from pay dirt.
Alma at their 36 now. St. John under a bit of pressure, rolling to his right, chased by Johnson, throws, caught by Goralski, who somehow keeps the feet in bounds and races down the sideline. Albion wanted a downfield hold, but Goralski all the way to the 30.
That was a good block by Frenchko, and Goralski just stopped on the sideline and kept the feet down. He actually kind of looked down to see where he was and then started running again.
You're exactly right. That was a wait a second, I'm still in bounds. Then he charges to the 36.
Scots were ready to go well before the chains were set.
They've been able to.
St. John will say slow it down a little bit now. They're going to even make some personnel changes, get Lauderman back in there. Webb comes out.
They've been allowed to go before the chains at least once today. I think the officials may be trying to pay some attention to that.
Scots aren't going to mind that. Play clock running down under 10 seconds here.
High snap grabbed by St. John, keeps it himself, faked it to Williams despite the high snap.
I don't think he faked it. I think he signaled to Eddie right to just go up into the hole and block. I think he put a forearm on Eddie's back between the 2 and the 6.
That could be it.
Went right back in there, got 4 yards. That's a good play off the high snap.
From the 36 to the 32, 2nd and 6, 12-10 to go. Alma up 28-24. Williams and St. John in the backfield. Thomas is an H-back on the left. Quick throw out to the sideline. Goralski. Frenchko looks for another block. Goralski cuts inside. May have a first down at the 26.
He's getting a good spot over there. That looks like a first down. It is. What a nice play by Goralski there.
Interesting. The downs marker reads first. They have not moved the chains.
Got to move
now
the chains.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion on the sideline. Looks like they'll let the Scots run the play. The chains are not set. Here we go anyway. St. John looking left with a little bit of time, trying to find Thomas, who's wide open. He's got it at the 5, and he's into the end zone. The Scots lead 34-24.
Another wheel route. They get Cole Thomas wide open. Big time touchdown, 26 yards.
And that changes the complexion of things. Our first 2-score lead of the day in either direction.
Unbelievable drive by the Scots. They go 96 yards after the penalty.
It's a good way to not need the first down markers if you just go into the end zone.
Big extra point here.
Hernandez from the Kruger hole. Pooches this one a little bit, and wide
right
to the right. So it stays at 10, the lead 34-24. 11:37 still left in this one. You better park yourself for a while. We got a finish to follow. Kinsvatter's kickoff before we got back from break lands at the 1-yard line, flies over the pylon, ruled out of bounds before it got into the end zone. So Albion will start at the 35. Regardless, though, Jeff, what a drive by the Alma Scots. Starting inside their 10-yard line, capping it off with Cole Thomas's second touchdown grab of the day. 24 yards from Carter St. John on St. John's 4th touchdown pass. And even with the missed extra point, a 10-point lead with 11:37 to go puts some real heat on the Albion Britons. From the 35, Scots slide Jackson right up onto the line of scrimmage, show blitz. We'll see what he does. As Lovell again takes his time. Play action, throw.
But
he's gonna hobble off a little bit, little hitch and giddy up there.
It was an incredible catch, though. But he had to contort his body enough that injured himself a little bit there.
It means that Jere Robinson comes on in his place. First down, Brits at the 48, trailing by 10. Lovell to throw out to the right. Caught out there by Edwards. Should be a first down at the Scots 42.
Good throw, good catch, first down. 2 first downs to start the drive for the Britons, who are moving down the field quickly here now.
Edwards, a high school teammate at Chelsea with Jack Bush, the fifth-year senior, unable to go for Albion today after an ACL injury 2 weeks ago. From the 42, Scots by 10. Albion looking to cut into that here early in the fourth quarter. The big guy Roberts up the middle, driving the legs down to the 36. And a big extracurricular action between Teal and Duma on the far sideline. Unclear whether this is going to only go one direction and what direction that would be. Probably has the feel of offsetting penalties.
I don't know, Duma's upset. He looks like he's going to be called for it. I love the play call right there by Albion. Scots only had 5 men in the box. You should be able to run on that all day.
Roberts is a big kid, 5'8", 210, played tight end earlier in his college career. Right now, everybody waiting to see the resolution of the wrestling match between Brendan Teal and Connor Duma.
Sportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 11. 15 yards added to the end of the run.
That's huge.
First down.
So 15 for free, and Albion continues its march. Lots of time left in this one.
Oh, and this is a quick march, too.
To go. Scots by 10 off the Thomas touchdown. They've scored 20 points here in the second half, but Albion still plenty of opportunities. Robinson out of Battle Creek Central in the right side slot, still in for Durand. Fell awkwardly on that catch over the middle. Toko lined up at a wing on the left. Roberts, the big guy again. This hole filled in a hurry down at the 20. Yep. Picked the wrong checkout lane that time and got a yard to show for it.
Seems like what I do every time. A little bit of tempo here from Albion now.
Roberts staying on. Also has 3 catches on the season if they want to throw out of the backfield. Play action over the middle. Toko reaches back. Nice catch inside the 10 to the 8. Brought down by Flowers there. It's first and goal.
That's been there. Passes have been a little bit behind the receiver most of the time.
Albion's had a few that they've had to reach back for, similar to what happened on the play to Durand.
Yeah. Nevertheless, first and goal, Albion.
Dennison races on. As the 4th receiver now on first and goal, still 9:50 to go in this one. A lot of football left to play. 34-24 Alma. Lovell for Albion. Pulls down a high snap, swings it out onto the sideline, caught by Edwards. This is the play that went for a touchdown earlier. It goes for 4 yards to the 4-yard line this time. Flowers and some other Scots in on the stop.
Fabulous drive by the Britons here.
They have responded all day long. Both teams have.
Yes.
Is the honest truth. Second and goal. Remember, Scots had a goal line stand back in the second quarter. Jones-Price into the middle, this time nosing, pushing, finding some space. It runs out at the 1-yard line. Third and goal from the 1.
Jumbo package coming in for Albion. Scots will not substitute.
It was Roberts who was bottled up on the 4th and goal from the 1. Third down and goal this time with 8:48 to play. Scots clinging to a 10-point lead that Albion wants to slice down. Lovell with his toes just behind the 5-yard line in the gun. High snap over his head and Lovell trips. He comes back, scoops it up, gets hit, loses the football, and Flowers recovers for Alma. Oh my! Luke Lovell with his hands on his head. He could have just fallen on it. He tried to pick it up because it was third down, and it comes loose to Flowers.
As he clapped for the snap, the thought that went into my mind, I was going to say a high snap sure would be nice right here. It came very high over the top, and Flowers with another recovery. Scots football with 8:30 to go at the 20-yard line.
3 turnovers from Albion, and that is the difference right now.
We talked about it in the pregame. We talked about it at halftime.
8:30 to play, Alma by 10.
I don't know if I can watch anymore.
You said you pulled a muscle on the Thomas touchdown. Eddie Williams up the middle for a couple. You pulled a muscle, I came up with some ridiculous sentence trying to throw to the commercial on the previous break.
I still got a basketball game to call later today.
2nd down and 8. Clock runs 8:10. And what will now be the longest 8 minutes in the history. My guess is the adrenaline's pretty high at the moment, though. 2nd and 8 as suddenly the Scots now do go into slowdown mode. Play clock at 5. St. John hands it off to Williams. A little hesitation step. Now out across the 25 to the 26.
There's a flag right over here at the downs marker. I'm wondering if maybe the Scots didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage, Toph.
Okay.
Other thing that could be is Albion could have been lined up in the neutral zone, but I don't think that's the case.
If the play stands, it's 3rd and 4.
It's not going to.
Yeah. Back they go.
Formation, 5 in the backfield. 5 yards.
Yep, properly diagnosed by you. And back to 2nd and 13.
Well, if you're the Scots, maybe you put it in the air. I'm not sure.
Here's the question that I have. You know, Alma's clearly trying to run clock. Do you risk taking yourself out of your own rhythm in that situation?
You do.
2nd and 13 for Carter St. John. Going to keep it himself, cuts up the middle, steps out of one tackle, crosses the 25 out to the 27.
Great gain, 3rd and 3, 3rd and a full 3, big 3rd down for the Scots.
Of course, tries to be judicious with running St. John because he's not the biggest kid at 5'11", 185.
There's no time to be judicious now.
265 rushing yards on the year coming into today. And has tacked on another 37 plus the 10 right there.
I see Scotty Cole moving everybody back along that Alma sideline. They do not want to risk a sideline violation.
3rd down and 3, thrown into the middle and off the fingertips of Goralski, incomplete. That's a dangerous throw because those are the throws where bad things happen when the ball gets tipped.
That one's been there all day. Well covered that time. Scots are going to have to punt it away with 6:51 to go, and you know that the Brits are going to be coming after this one.
Yes. Look out, Caleb Kinsvatter. Eli Jackson, we didn't identify who was that last line of defense who had the great block on the punt where the snap hopped back to Kinsvatter. Scots get the clock down to 6:51, still leading by 10. Another low snap, but in the air.
Best punt of the day.
Spiraling kick and a high one. Durand, who's back out there, tries to get away from Holloway and does. Now cuts outside at the 40, but Holloway slowed him down long enough and brought down at the 38-yard line is Andy Durand.
Great punt by Kinsvatter right there.
6:42 and counting. For folks who are tuned in on the live video stream, that clock is unofficial. We have to maintain that manually, so it will sometimes deviate by a few seconds from the actual game time. So if there seems to be a discrepancy between what I'm saying and what you're seeing on your screen, that's why. But it does give you a good idea of approximately how much time is left. From the 38-yard line, Albion trailing by 10. 3 turnovers have crushed them today so far. Goings up the middle to the 45 on a nice pickup.
One of the best runs of the day for Albion, and it comes with the 3rd running back.
Soffordini with another tackle. 11, so that means 12 on the day for Odin Soffordini. 2nd down and 3, level with a bunch of time in the pocket. Now rolling to his right. Didn't want the underneath throw, throws late flag. It's caught by Toko at the
Jason
Scots
Couch
40.
is clapping. It's going to be a hold?
Is it?
Jason Couch clapped.
Lovell bought a lot of time.
Is he across the line of
I
scrimmage?
was wondering. I didn't think so, but maybe the flag is in the right spot for that
It
to
sure
be the
is.
problem. Oh, that makes more sense. That is the risk. I tell you what, Luke Lovell has done an incredible job of buying time today and waiting for receivers to come open. But this time, one of the big guys got too far upfield.
Big penalty on the Britons there.
2nd and 8. 6:11 to go. From their own 40, trailing by 10. Lovell again with a straight drop and lots of time. Into the middle, caught by Edwards, just shy of midfield, but has the 1st down.
Big 1st down, another good throw by Lovell.
Driven backwards there.
Up well over 300 yards now.
Benoit Richards is your center. First down for the Brits. Stepping to his left, throwing long, wide open out there, but the throw a little bit late. Teal makes the catch at the 12 and is pushed out of bounds by Kretschmar. Kretschmar got beaten there, but the ball badly underthrown. Teal makes a great adjustment to come back and make the catch, but that one could have been a touchdown.
Kretschmar got beat, looked up at the ball, decided he had to take a lunge at him. Then the ball was underthrown. A lot of things happened during the course of that play. First and goal, Albion.
From the 10-yard line, still 5:33 to play, 34-24 Scots. Play action, swing pass Durand out to the left, well blocked, and that'll be a touchdown to Andy Durand. Great blocking by the Albion receivers, and they're right back at it, 34-30, as Gerwinski comes on for the extra point.
A very important extra point, too.
Remember, Logan Gerwinski is the backup kicker
the end of the
for
win.
Albion. Kicked last week, made all 5 extra points, has made everything today, including a 41-yard field goal. One hop snap, they get it down, and it is good. That is impressive work by Hunter Williams, the holder, to get that one down on the bounce. 5:23 to play, Alma's lead back down to 3 at 34-31. Stay here. Stimulus response is what's going on here. Back and forth we go. Albion answers again after trailing by 10 briefly. They're back within 3 at 34-31. Williams with a short kickoff that's going to land in front of Hogan. He has to run up on it at the 15 on a bounce, and that's going to break his momentum on the return, mark him at the 16.
It just hung up there.
And now, this is what I was kind of alluding to before, Jeff. You got 5:18 to go in your Alma. Do you come up and run your traditional up-tempo offense that you're most comfortable with, or do you slow it down, risk taking yourself out of your comfort zone to try to run some clock? You're going to get a chance to think about it.
I think you got to go up-tempo. It's Johnson that is down.
Not sure about that, actually, because Johnson is standing, right? With as talented as the Scots defense is, you say we're going to run our offense, we'll run it up tempo and try to get some points. If we give it back to Albion, we're going to rely on our defense to win the game for us. Scots by 3, 34-31. Eddie Williams right up the middle on first down.
Good
and
game.
A nice pickup out to the 23. That's good for almost 6.
I think the Scots are going to run clock.
So far, that looks to be the plan. Albion not deploying its timeouts yet, but has all 3, as does Alma.
Judging by St. John warming up his leg as he was out there. He's just got the hands in the pocket. He's going to wait. Call's not going to come in until about 15 seconds on the play clock.
10 seconds now as Alma comes to the line of scrimmage. The one risk here is that you basically telegraph when the snap's coming by the play clock. They snap it with 5, give it to Williams on the left, trying to lower his head and go and can't get far. No gain, maybe a half a yard, and now 3rd down and 3. Clock goes down to 4:23. Alma brings on Webb. Webb, Lauderman, Goralski, and Thomas will be the receiving threats on 3rd down and 3. The Albion bleachers are full, and they are on their feet.
Play of the game right here. 3rd and 4. I think I'd give St. John an option to run this thing. He has been a very effective runner.
St. John literally goes in and kneels in a huddle, which is something you never see from Alma.
Yeah, with 7 on the play clock.
4 now as they get to the line. It's Williams trying to do it on the ground across the 25. An extra surge and a first down from Eddie Williams.
What a run from Eddie Williams between the right tackle and guard.
Sheer effort. The initial contact was at the 25, which would not have been enough.
Now they're going to run every second possible off this clock.
It's interesting that the way that they do it is they just don't give St. John a play until late. There are 13
Correct.
seconds on the play clock. He is not even in the huddle yet.
That's how they're keeping the tempo, the rhythm.
Yes.
Correct.
So now they will speed to the line. 6, 5, 4, snap. Williams, right tackle again, squirts through low for 2. Out to the
And
36.
there's the Albion timeout.
There's the timeout with 3:06 to play.
I think that's the right use of the timeout if you're Albion.
Yeah, they'll be able to use 2 more and force Alma potentially in a 4th down situation. It would come with about 2:50 to play.
First down would go a long way.
Yeah. Yes, an Alma first down would make a dramatic difference because then they could run down to about 1 minute,
Right.
maybe even less, before another change of possession situation would arise. Nonetheless, the sheer pickup changes things from a
huge.
field position standpoint.
It does. It does. That was a brilliant run by Williams as just a snow flurry or 2 begin to fall on Bulky Field here.
Elma's moving downwind, but the guy who named Stan, that they paged to the gate because his friend was waiting for him outside. That was during the quarter break. We decided that person probably didn't want to go to the gate.
No. Too much excitement here.
Alma 34, Albion 31, 3:06 to go. 2nd down and 7. Eddie Williams again. Plunges for about 3 more.
Oh, 15 right there. Come on. There you go.
Okay, so we've got more extracurriculars downfield. Connor Smith and Nate Webb.
That's going to be a first down, Alma, I do
Probably
believe.
will go against Albion. We'll see. We saw a very similar situation on the previous possession, resulting in Alma penalty. Smith, a high school all-stater, 52 tackles, 3 interceptions on the year, but gets tangled up with Nate Webb after that play, and the officials are going to talk this one over, and this would be
a huge call.
Crucial penalty.
Looked to me like it was on Albion. We will see.
Waiting for the official to cue up his microphone. He's still getting some information from the officiating crew. Nobody has started to walk one direction or the other for potential penalty enforcement. Play was a short gain. Here we go.
Personal foul, offense 81. After the play, personal foul, defense number 2.
All right, so they offset this time between Webb and Smith. Dead ball foul and offsetting. So that should make it 3rd down. And a timeout called by Albion.
Yep.
3:02 on the clock.
Neither team leaving the field on the timeout here, but now they have.
34-31 was 21-14 Albion at halftime. The Scots a 14-3 edge in the 3rd quarter. Eventually stretched their lead to 34-24, but missed the extra point on that one. Albion answers with a touchdown to get back within 3. Alma has picked up 1 first down on this drive. They need another.
That they do. I thought they were going to get it right there, but
drain some clock.
So 3rd down, 6 yards to go. You put it in the air here?
I think so. You need 6. That's a lot to ask from Eddie Williams. You know, he grounded out and got that much yardage on the previous situation, but that was 3rd and more like 3.
Jason Couch not at all happy that that's offsetting.
Yeah, still.
As well, I don't think he should be happy that it's offsetting.
Hard to tell. It was on the far side of the field, and we were looking other places in terms of how it started.
I think I'd run QB draw with Carter St. John here, depending upon the alignment that you get.
Sure. I think there's a legitimate argument for that. Alma with 3 timeouts left. Albion with 1. 3rd down. A long 5, let's call it. The first down marker is right at the 43-yard line. Zach Riepma in the huddle, Because of the timeout, Alma can do whatever they want tempo-wise. They don't have to try to drain the play clock. Frenchko will go right. Lauterman, Goralski to the left. Thomas will be right there in the middle. Lined up right behind the left end of the offensive line. Eddie Williams to the left of Carter St. John. Third down. St. John wants to throw under a lot of pressure, in trouble. Now steps out, keeps his feet. Rolling to his right. Now steps inside and gets sacked anyway. Brought down by Connor Smith, who was involved in the previous play.
They're going to let the clock run.
St. John kept that alive. The one thing that is interesting here is by virtue of Alma trying to drain clock, if Albion was to score a touchdown, Alma will not have a whole lot of time to come back offensively.
That is true.
It's 4th down and 9 back at the 34. Andy Durand has been terrific in the punt return game for Albion today. Durand on the day averaging 16 yards a return with a long of 42 that set up Albion's first touchdown. Caleb Kinsvatter from his 20. Good snap. Gets away, an end-over-end kick. It's going to land, take a big high bounce, and it kicks away from Durand and rolls forward. And Alma will allow this to run because the clock is running all the way down to the 14-yard line. 2 minutes and 1 second remain for the MIAA title. Alma 34, Albion 31. Luke Lovell will have to lead the drive of his life. Lovell on the day, 29 of 38, 363 yards.
He hasn't blinked, has he?
4 touchdowns already.
See if the Scots can get pressure.
Alma's defense has been its signature for the last 2 seasons. They've forced 73 turnovers over the last 2 seasons. Can they get one more stop when it counts the most? 2:01 to play. Lovell on first down. Throws underneath out to the left. Goins driven out of bounds by Flowers. After a gain of about 6, maybe 7, out to the 22. Stops the clock with 1:57. Remember, the last time these teams played on this field was 2018. That game went to overtime, with Albion winning 37-34. It's 34-31 Alma at the moment, 1:57 to play. 2nd down and 3. Lovell drops, a little bit of pressure up the middle, steps up, now runs. Has the first down, slides down, Alma stays off of him. Out to the 30-yard line. Alma will sub defensively with 1:51. Clock stops while the chains move. Albion still has a timeout remaining.
Robertson in there, Sanderson in there.
Goins on the right of Lovell from the 28. Drops, Alma a little bit of pressure up the middle, long over the middle, and is picked off by Gage Nelson. Alma with turnover number 34 of the season and the 4th of the day. And the senior from Standish Sterling, who has meant so much to this program, pulls it down.
Absolute pandemonium at Balke Field right now. Gage Nelson drops into coverage again, as we've seen him do so many times, and most likely just sealed an MIAA championship.
Give a lot of the credit to the front 4 from the Scots.
Yes.
Lovell felt that pocket collapse around him, and I don't think he got everything on that throw.
Robertson came from the left side around from the back. Lovell stepped up.
This is very close in terms of whether Alma can kneel it down. They're going to go victory formation, but Albion will take that timeout and at least see how quickly the officials get the ball
Not even
spotted.
a second ran off the clock.
2 seconds run from 1:37 to 1:35.
If I'm St. John, I take that snap and take about 3 or 4 steps back.
Alma is this close to an MIAA title and their first 10-0 season ever, and a comfortable watch of the selection show tomorrow just to find out where they're going.
Wouldn't it?
And
what a
if
game this has been.
It will be by their signature. Think of the plays in this game that matter.
Yes.
4 turnovers and a goal line stand.
Goal line stand at the 1-inch line.
A possession that Albion started at the 8-yard line. They go backwards on 3rd and 10, play caught by Nolan on the 1 and stopped by Flowers, and then they stop Roberts on 4th down. Even if Albion comes away with a field goal there, the whole second half plays out differently.
Scots are going to come out of a victory formation now.
2nd down and 13. Alex Dean with some of the most important snaps of his life to get on the money. Eddie Williams with one hand on the football, a big gain.
First down and go down. Game's over.
Yep.
Game's over.
At this point, the Scots can run it out. I tell you what,
Albion was going to try to let him score, I think, and not everybody might have been on the same page.
Williams had that in one arm because he had so much space, but had it high and tight, holds on, and now the Scots very much can kneel it down. They are attempting to prevent the crowd from storming the field. Good luck.
Unbelievable job by the Scots.
Scots coaching staff starting to feel it as St. John kneels down again. You're going to have to look in the budget for table repairs. You start to hear the celebration as the clock ticks to 47. They have to kneel one more time. That is all it will take.
Unbelievable job by these players, this coaching staff. One more snap. If he hits the ground here, 10-0.
It is over. Games like this do not live up to their billing very often. A few hugs down on the field between the teams. They'll head to the handshake line, and it is a done deal, folks. As long as the clock doesn't malfunction in the next 10 seconds, the Alma Scots, 34-31, knock off the Albion Britons. Here come the fans. Like I said, good luck. Some moments are meant to be celebrated, and this is one of them. The Scots are your 2022 MIAA champs.
Unbelievable football game between these two teams. The Scots are champions. They're going to the NCAA tournament. There's more to play. And they're not going to keep them off the field today.
Alma does it by doing what they do best. So many things. They rely on the freshmen. St. John and Williams come up huge, but the defense, all of the names that we talk about week in, week out, Flowers,
absolutely.
Friedenberg, Nelson, Dunwoody was in there, Robertson was in there, Soferdini with a huge number of tackles,
Drew Hum with a couple open field tackles that were huge.
Hum with crucial ones. You pick a name, they did something today. Everybody's got a share of this one. This is the ultimate team championship for Alma, and they have picked up a victory that no one will soon forget.
Oh my goodness, 34-31. Scots champions of the MIAA. This is really hard to believe, Toph.
A storybook ending. As we said, these games don't always live up to the hype. This game was great. A rough game for Albion. I tell you what, the numbers that were crunched coming in said there was a very good chance Albion could still make the playoffs. And one of the comments that went with it is, if it's a quote-unquote close loss, a competitive game, Albion got all of that.
100%
they make their case to find their way in a brutal non-conference schedule, and
I would be very, very disappointed in the committee if Albion does not make this tournament, because they deserve to be there, and the Scots very much deserve to be there. Champions of the MIAA, they run the regular season table.
Hats off to Coach Jason Couch and his entire staff, the continuity, and you fold. But what a day.
The celebration is definitely on. There's no question about that. I don't know if we're going to be able to get over to a basketball game.
While we wait for the band to play, tell you that 5:30 tomorrow is the selection show for the NCAA Division III tournament. That is when you will find out when your Scots play again, because the season is not over here at Alma College.
There's even a possibility they could be right here at home next week. A decent possibility, really.
I think
they could be right here.
10-0 with a win over Albion. Here we go.
Nobody's left.
No.
What a scene at Balke Field.
Hug from Coach Couch to Dave Zerbe. What a job that Zerbe does for the game day atmosphere. There was a post this week talking about how this is one of the best game day experiences in Division III, and that's not kidding. And the Kilty Marching Band, a critical part of that. In their 100th year, they go 10-0. If you take the numbers 100 in the middle, that's where you get 10-0, where the Scots fit this season.
Champions in 1972, champions in 2002, and champions in 2022 are the Scots. 34-31, they win this one. On to the next round, and we'll take a quick break. We're going to have a post-game show of some sort here. Back to Balke Field after this.
The trophy has found its way to midfield and into the hands of Jason Couch, who celebrates with his players and a substantial part of the student body. A 34-31 victory against 19th ranked Albion today in one of the most exciting football games that we've ever had a chance to be a part of. Take a look at a few final numbers. First for Albion, going down in defeat. What a day. Luke Lovell, 30 of 40 passing, 370 yards, 4 touchdowns, but the Scots pick him off 3 times, including the one by Gage Nelson to seal it. Phillips Jones-Price held to 38 yards on the ground on 13 carries. Brendan Teal, what a receiving day. 8 catches, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bailey Edwards, 6 catches, 83 yards and a score. Andy Durand, 9 catches, 73 yards and a score, plus the 42-yard punt return. For Alma, Carter St. John, freshman quarterback out of Indiana, 22 of 33, 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he was not intercepted.
Fabulous day for the freshman St. John.
The young man has the poise of someone with so much more experience than someone playing their first season. Eddie Williams, meanwhile, turns into the workhorse. 31 carries, 105 yards, and the opening touchdown.
And you've heard Coach Couch all season long on the Coach's Show say they were saving him as much as they could for a game that they had to use him like that.
Well, you think on recent seasons, Alma's had such struggles to keep their backs healthy, and to get 10 healthy games from Eddie Williams, what a luxury. Nate Goralski, a new career high in catches with 12 grabs for 97 yards. Devin Frenchko, 4 for 78. Ty Lauderman, 2 for 47, including the touchdown on the double reverse / flea flicker / whatever it was that put the Scots up. Cole Thomas, 3 catches for 42 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game winner in the left corner of the south end zone. Buddy Hogan, a catch for 34 yards and a touchdown on that wheel route as the Scots came out blazing in the third quarter after trailing 21-14. They got that late stop in the second quarter that kept the lead manageable. I think probably had a huge effect on that halftime locker room. And then the third quarter, just like they did against Hope, domination that carries them to victory. On the day, 450 total yards for Alma, and maybe more importantly than that, Jeff, if you take a look at Albion's rushing yards, Alma holds Albion to 48 rushing yards. You said win the rushing battle and win turnovers. Alma forces 4 turnovers, rushes for 147 yards, and wins the game.
Once in a while, we get it right, partner.
That's right. So, we're not done. We'll see you in a week from somewhere with the Scots.
We'll see you in about 55 minutes from the art.
Jeff, on the other hand, has more broadcasting to do. My voice is done for the day, thank you very much. But Jeff's got basketball against Elmhurst as the Scots get their 2022 men's basketball campaign in order. My understanding is that they were offering tickets to anybody at this football game that wants to come watch some basketball. So you might have a pretty full house over there. What a day, though. It is a final from Balke Field. For Craig Compton and Jeff Somerville, I am Topher Goggins signing off from atop the press box where Alma has knocked off Albion and finished off the 10-0 storybook season, which rolls into the playoffs next week. Final score today from Balke Field, Alma on top of Albion, 34-31.